Wow, check out that control room. A lot of action going on. You got the switcher on the left there. You got Kimberly in the middle calling all the shots. Neil on the right gesticulating wildly. He's the man in my ear giving me some direction. Take a listen in. Looks like we're going on a tour of the facility. We're going to duck in here to the robot museum and merch store. Got some illegal parking situation going on. I'm not really sure what's going on. Enormous robots. That's just one of our normal patrons here at the NHRL facility. Take a walk down Spectator Alley. Hall of Fame photos on the wall. Delicious food up for offer. Some builders lurking in the background. I think yes, we are. We're ducking into the main area here. We got an announcer desk. Well, that's me. I guess that's our cue. Lindsay, welcome to the third day of NHRL All-Stars. We are going to have a great night. Let's get right to it.
Hello, welcome to the first ever NHRL All-Stars event. This is night 3. I'm so happy to be here with you. My name is Lindsay Bear. I am here with my friend and announcer extraordinaire, Ricky Willems. Ricky, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to be here. This is a fantastic event. Excited to be behind the desk with you. This is a great matchup. We are going to have an incredible day today. So much has already happened over the last 2 days, and we have some great recaps here for you to take a look at just what kind of stuff we've been seeing. This was yesterday as we took a shot. Oh man, look at that. That is Knockoff White going up against Knockout. You have Dutch Oven absolutely barbecuing its opponents. Man, wow. I love that robot. We have a children's hospital getting torn apart from the inside out. Absolutely brutal humanitarian issues there. And of course, some big, huge hits from some of our heavy hitters here in the 12 and 30 pound classes. And 3 pound, of course, as well. So we've had great fights, we've had great experiences, we've had some hilarious moments too.
I mean, some things that you just could not predict, both in terms of there are no spinners in the 3 pound quarterfinals. It's all fire and then a sand shovel. Yeah. With a Crashfest. I don't know if anybody would have predicted that going in, but here we are.
Huge upsets. I mean, the robots that have made their way through our bracket the last couple of days, not exactly surprises. I mean, these are fierce competitors, but not our usual group of folks. And then, of course, we have wonderful YouTube personalities here doing some really strange and unusual things, but keeping us cracking up, and hopefully you at home as well. We're going to take a look at today's schedule. We've got the semifinals in all 3 of our weight classes. That's the 3 pound, the 12 pound, and the 30 pound classes. We've got exhibition fight chaos from both our own competitors and our special YouTube guest stars. We've got then our finals that we're going to get to, along with the reveal of our incredible all-star trophies. And of course, we are going to be crowning our champions tonight. Lindsay, this is a great lineup. And all in a short period of time.
A very short period of time. We have a lot of very important fights for you. And I also am really excited to see what these YouTubers are cooking up. They've been in an off-site facility.
Yeah, we've locked them in a small cage down the street. No windows, limited doors.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of robot parts. And they've been cooking up some neat stuff. Sometimes literally. We had a lot of hot dogs. That was kind of gross, if I'm honest, but it was really funny. The children's hospital situation, and I've heard what we've got cooking up today is rather explosive.
They've kept me in the dark, I think on purpose, so I don't sabotage it in some way, I don't know. But they're going to be going up against Lil Rip. Right. And I'm really excited to see a little bit more about what Lil Rip has planned.
We'll see. You can see,
there it is.
Yeah, they are already waiting cage side for their opponent to make their way into the arena. Here's what Lil Rip had to say about being an NHRL All-Star.
Lil Rip and I are all-stars because, although Lil Rip is unpredictable, it's never unreliable.
All right, we're going to go back to Cage 4. We are waiting on the competitor of Lil Rip to enter the room. We will see here in just a moment what the name of this mystery competitor is. It seems like every time they enter the arena, they have rebranded themselves, constantly reinventing their own persona.
Absolutely, and I would expect nothing less from the safety third crew. They did tell us originally it was going to be Soggy.
Soggy Mustang.
Mustang, yes. But first night, they changed it at the very last minute on air to Raw Dog.
Yeah.
And last night, when just a tragic turn of events.
Yeah, it became Doctors with Borders, which was kind of horrifying. It was a children's hospital for hopeful and recovering children that got absolutely destroyed, with children strewn about the arena.
They have a little bit more to recover from now.
Yeah, I mean, emotionally, if nothing else. There's a lot to come back from. You can see, they are doing their best here. Something interesting going on. I see a lot of metal construction. And I see a lot of pizzas.
Now, something that I'm very interested in is that pizza hammer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Tony was the one responsible for this or if it just came down from the heavens, but I'm really interested to, I don't know, do you think it tastes good? Is it actual pizza?
I mean, he's been like lugging it around on his shoulder all day, so even if it was actual pizza, I probably wouldn't sample it at this point.
Fair. Very fair.
Looks like we are getting ready to load this robot up. Lindsay, I don't know how we're going to talk about this best, but I'm excited for this robot. It's what we might call a one-shot wonder, if it works.
If it works.
Yeah, if it works. Oh, there's Anna Zolnikov.
She looks afraid.
Yeah, she looks
frankly.
a little nervous. Like peppy, but nervous.
I've never seen Anna shaken up before.
And she's nervous.
Yeah.
It is actually kind of cold cage side right now. But I also, when you're sitting there cage side and you are waiting for your competitor to load up, the nerves get to you.
Oh, yeah. Especially when you are facing what is unknown, unfamiliar, this one-trick Mustang, let's call it. I frankly don't know what to expect here. But, it's a safety third crew. We know it's going to be a spectacle, if nothing else. Hopefully the children are safe at home this time. All children's hospitals have been protected.
Yeah, I'm getting word that we are going to have a very dramatic entrance from the YouTubers. Let's go check that out any moment. The ultimate archway.
This is dramatic, Ricky.
It is. Quite a walk. Let's see, something sauce. Oh, it's the open sauce. The open sauce logo. Okay, his robot, is the robot named Sus? Is it named Sus now? They are walking to the cage, about to load in and get ready.
This is a very unassuming looking robot just from first specs.
I mean, it's quite a wedge on the front of that. Lindsay, can you take a guess what little trick this might have up its sleeve?
Well, I see a big old booty painted onto that Among Us. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that is considered a weapon in and of itself, but...
No, I don't think that's going to intimidate the opponent. Might make him a little jealous.
Fair.
No, this robot, I hope I'm not giving away the secret too early, but this robot has an automotive airbag mounted underneath of the robot. No. So if they do their job correctly, and they are able to get their opponent, positioned perfectly on top of that incredibly painted wedge, that is going to be a pizza flipping up in the air.
Wow. Okay, so true to form. I mean, it's very applicable then that they're fighting a pizza because when you make a pizza, you got to throw it in the air, toss it around.
If you want that, authentic New York style, yeah. Although I think all of the Ripperoni folks are from Massachusetts. So I don't know if there's a Massachusetts-style pizza. You're frowning at me. Is it bad?
Ricky, I did go to college in Boston, and I was there for 5 years, and I don't think I had a good slice of pizza the entire time. No shade to the wonderful people of Massachusetts.
Well, we'll take a look and see if that can change today. We got an interesting note. You may notice this is taking a little while to load this robot into the arena. That's because the YouTube robot, I'm just going to call it Sus from now on, because that's what's painted on the front. Sus is considered a hazard robot. Yes, they are the safety third team, but the safety team here has to kind of rein them in a little bit. And we have protocols and procedures to make sure that when you put something explosive, like an airbag, into the arena, it is treated with care, it's treated properly, and the only thing that it injures is its robotic opponent and not the operator's staff or audience. So it takes a little bit of extra work. Fingers crossed, it's all worth it. Either way, I think I'm going to have a blast.
Literally. I really have to commend the safety third crew because they have shown up day 3. Each day has been a different robot, a completely different take on what combat robotics can be. Of course, the first day was a hot dog rotisserie. Yesterday, we all, of course, remember what happened with the Children's Hospital. And now we have a very ambitious build with this airbag.
Not just ambitious build. This is going to take some driving skill. If they don't line up their shot properly, they're the ones that are going to go flying across the arena and not their opponent.
Oh, that's a very good point. Well, I know that William Osmond does own a heavyweight robot. Hopefully he has been practicing in advance of this tournament. But I don't know what we're going to see here.
We will find out shortly.
Kevin, the backyard scientist, I have to also really compliment that shirt because that Among Us has some cake.
It sure do. I'm realizing now, Lindsay, that's open sus.
Open sus.
Yeah, all right. Snip to the snip. That makes sense. Away they go. Oh, there's a large red button.
Now, we have had airbags in the
NHRL
competition.
We had a temporary moratorium on airbags here. Generally speaking, they're a little more risk than we want running around in the pits on a day-to-day basis. They take a tremendous amount of care. Because we have dedicated staff and builders to help facilitate this happening, as well as both state, local, and city officials on standby to help make this possible. We were able to make an exception for today. This is the kind of thing that you're not going to get to see too often because almost nowhere can you actually put on a show like this with airbags launching off robots and do it legally and safely. But we put in the work, they put in the work, the safety third team put in the work, and hopefully it all pays off in just a few minutes.
Here we go.
That facial expression.
Oh boy.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Fight, robots, fight.
All right, open sus, really going for the...
Whoa!
Okay.
Super cool!
Huge explosion right off the bat.
Yeah, that airbag worked perfectly well. I mean, that was an incredible amount of force.
I feel like the airbag sent Soggy Mustang flying a little bit more than Lil Rip.
Yes, Soggy Mustang went flying. Open Sus went flying directly up. Lil Rip went flying in the other direction for sure.
But it certainly deployed, I think, as perfectly as they could have hoped.
I think so. And I got to say, they're still very mobile. Now that...
That is some shady business.
That is some shady business. We'll see what the referees and whatnot have to say. Ordinarily speaking, that would be considered entanglement, but when the YouTube personalities are at it, I don't know how we rule that.
You know what? The YouTube personalities came, they showed up, they said, we see your rules, and we don't like them.
Oh, look at that. Lil Rip is able to detangle itself from the airbag. Says, I don't care if you listen to the rules or not, I'll still kick your butt.
An absolute feet removing itself from that entanglement device.
I can't stress how difficult that is to do. Oh, and again! No!
Soggy Mustang says, yeah, try it again. Oh, they're taunting them now.
Oh, my goodness.
Not seeing a lot of movement now out of Lil Rip.
Well, it's kind of hard when you got a bag over your head. I mean, it's trying. It's doing its best. I think those bags are made of Kevlar. I mean, they are tough stuff.
All right, we're going to get some house spot action to try and free them, but that's just laid it up for Soggy Mustang.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they were able to untangle themselves once is downright miraculous. If they can do it again... Oh my. Well, at the very least, they're upright now.
That is a much better position. They can...
And their weapon is trying to wiggle its way free. Wriggle its way free. It shouldn't be that hard to say.
This seems like some type of like frat party hazing or something. Like,
right.
I don't know. Gotta hand it to Lil Rip, though. It is trying its darndest. Soggy Mustang really should try and use that wedge and maybe get some pins. But that's just kind of showing off what it can do.
Yeah, we're going to go to a judge's decision. I mean, I don't think anybody would have expected that. Then again, I didn't expect Open Sus to purposefully use a generally unused weapon and then use it as an entangled device after the fact. But...
You know, if no one told them not to, it was a pretty smart move, I guess. Kevin, the backyard scientist, looks dazed and odd and almost confused as to what just happened.
Yeah, haunted.
Haunted is a great word.
We're going to go to a replay. There's that incredible first hit. I mean, Ripperoni did go flying.
I would love to see what actually caused, was it just the pressure of that hit? What was the instigator of making that airbag go off?
Oh, no, I mean, I think that was some strategically timed firing mechanism. I mean, there's a weapon operator there, and his finger was on the trigger.
Oh, I see. I was distracted by that big red button. Absolute masterclass. The first entanglement that Soggy Mustang was able to accomplish by nudging that airbag right into their weapon. I mean, that is exactly what they wanted, and they just were able to capitalize on the moment.
Yeah, I mean, the things that you can do when you are a YouTube exhibition fight are, I wanted to say limitless. I mean, we do have some safety protocols, but aside from that, they thought it would be fun. We thought it would be fun. That's what they did.
Ricky, I'm really glad that you are such good friends with the fire marshals, both in the state of Connecticut and I think just nationally, because maybe because of their friendship, we were able to pull that off.
I can't, it's like a kinship. I don't think there's a single fire marshal out there that doesn't also like lighting things on fire. And that's kind of a shared vision that the group of us have. So it's a little bit of an in.
Yeah, not many opportunities for them to allow safe fire in a public setting.
They can smell it on you if you haven't put out a lot of emergency fires in the past. They know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Anyway, welcome back. We're going to pivot to the actual semifinals. We're going to jump into some real fights, getting our way through, figuring out who's going to be in the finals. We're going to start with the 30-pounders tonight. Here's the bracket. You can see we've got Squire going up against Red Storm. They have both had incredible journeys to get here. And on the other side of the bracket, we're going to have Vorion going up against Knockoff White. This is quite a mix. We've got two non-kinetic energy robots going up against two spinners. Anything could happen. It could be quite a matchup in the finals regardless of who makes it through.
Absolutely, and I was talking to Brandon Bennett Young just today, asking him about his strategy going in with Vorion against Knockoff White, and he said, you know, it's actually funny, a lot of the bots that he has been facing in this tournament, he has faced with Phenomenon in the past.
Yes.
And he has lost with Phenomenon in the past. So this is almost like Vorion's revenge tour.
Right.
So he really wants to be able to carry that torch, get Knockoff White, and avenge the former, his first love, Phenomenon.
Yeah, the man has a tremendous, grouping of robots, stable of robots, and that, that experience just transfers out in so many ways.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I'm hearing that Squire is ready to enter the arena. We're going to go over that way, take a look, see what they're bringing to the table today. The Sparky Arch, the Sparch, if you will.
He's lost his chainmail.
Yeah, I'm noticing a distinct lack of armor. Maybe they're just that confident, Lindsay.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Logan Davis there, supporting his friend Jordan. From day one, Logan has been saying that this is Squire's tournament to win. He really thinks that Jordan and the bot has what it takes to win it all. We're going to see if he's going to be able to continue on and try and fulfill that dream.
I got to say, there was a little confidence there. I think they're going into this, when you go in with a big, heavy-hitting weapon like Squire has, going up against a control bot like Red Storm, you gotta think to yourself, well, I can just tear this guy in half. Of course, Kevin Milchelski, Red Storm, they're about to enter the arena, and they are going to do the best to make sure that doesn't happen.
Kevin emerging from the darkness.
Oh, I like that shirt.
Shirt.
Love
the enthusiasm.
Interestingly, the internet here, the YouTube live chat, I'm getting worried they are predicting that Red Storm is going to bring home the gold tonight, which would mean a run through Squire and then another run through whoever's up next. So there is there's a sense that maybe that confidence on the part of Squire is not exactly as well earned as they might think.
I mean, it's really hard right now to bet against Red Storm. We have seen this robot absolutely demolish, bully its opponents through every stage of this competition, and then when it's done with its opponents, it goes over to the house bot, and it makes a fool of our house bots as well.
Well, Lindsay, Kevin is such an exceptional driver, and that robot has been through so many iterations. It is an absolute tank of a machine. So when you've got that kind of durability and that kind of driving skill, it is incredible how far you can go.
I mean, this is a design he's been perfecting for 5 years, and it's a little bittersweet because, Kevin has said, I've been having so much fun with this robot. I love this design, but I'm ready to build a spinner.
Yeah, but it's Kevin. I mean, I think there's a pretty good chance that we're going to see something really interesting come out of whatever that spinner ends up looking like. And, my personal favorite thing about that is, that the iteration and the attention to detail is going to be there. It is going to be a world-class and reliable robot.
All right, wow, let's look at this tail of the tape. You can see the difference here between Squire and Red Storm. Squire, 2 wheels, of course. Red Storm has 4. One has a vertical disc, while Red Storm has a lifter. And now look at this. This is a really a cool weapon fact here. Squire can spin 170 miles per hour, but Red Storm can deadlift 90 pounds. They have gone head-to-head, and it looks like Squire won. So Squire may be the favorite going into this, but I don't think that Kevin is going to pay a lot of attention to that. He's just going to go in and try and do what he does.
No, and you got to remember, even if these robots look identical, even if they appear very much the same, these are iterated on every time they fight. Sometimes even within the pits, there are big changes happening that you are tailor changing to whoever your opponent is going to be. So there's a lot of learning. Every event, you're showing up with a robot that has something new, at least if you're taking full advantage of the time between events. You can see there Squire is lined up, looking calm, cool, collected. Relatively pristine, too. They've done a wonderful job keeping that robot. Oh, wow. Look, Kevin doing his full, hand warm-up. I mean, I know it is a little chilly here, but...
Gotta keep those digits nimble. Especially for a robot like Red Storm, where there's a lot of things going on that he has to control for.
Yeah, and the reaction time that you need to have on a robot that is that fast is really intense.
Frankly, Ricky, I don't think my brain works that fast. I know he said that his robots move quicker than a brain can process, and I think that is...
There's a level of prediction to it. You got to say, my robot's going to be there in a second. I'm going to have to turn there, and you have to plan for that before you get there. It's not something that you can wait for that closed loop control.
Exactly.
So that's where strategy comes in so key here in the NHRL arena.
Well, it looks like we are about ready to go. Countdown begins.
3, 2, 1.
Fight, robots, fight.
Away we go.
Famous box rush, as we come to expect.
Immediate pin of Red Storm, of Squire by Red Storm.
However, during that pin, he was taking some damage on those grabbers.
Yeah, you can see the sparks flying. Oh, Squire getting under Red Storm. That is not what Kevin wants. Oh, although Red Storm has now gotten to the side of Squire, able to push him around the arena a bit.
Very dangerous spot for Squire to be in.
Lindsay, what is so incredible about Red Storm, a lot of control bots will move around the side of their opponent to try and get away from that weapon. Kevin drives full force right into the face. Oh, look at that. Left side drive issues on Squire.
And so typically when people think about robots that have non-kinetic weapons, you think it's hard for them to do damage, and in some cases that's true, but in Red Storm's case, it goes full force into you with the full power of its robot, and that alone is able to do damage like we're seeing here with Squire.
Yeah, Squire has been damaged. Just being pushed against the force of your own wheels can sometimes rip up the insides of your gearboxes, your pinions, the shafts on your motors. And I think that's what we've seen here with Squire.
Squire doing a really good job of not letting Red Storm get to the back of it, despite not being able to move.
Yeah, frankly, I think Squire is driving better on one wheel than it was on two, but it's doing so because it's been forced to play defensively.
Yeah.
All Squire can do is try to keep Red Storm at bay, and doing so will mean twisting around as best it can, trying to stay in the center of the arena.
Red Storm really capitalizing on all of these moments, pushing it up onto the rail. And with limited mobility, it's going to be difficult for Squire to get off of this without an unstick from Flow.
Yeah, this is quite a series of pins that we've had already. Just under a minute left in the match.
Now Kevin doing what he famously tries to do, get between the robot, his opponent, and the house bot.
Kevin also doing his best to flip the control on the back of our house bot off. Remember, it is a $1,000 prize if you can turn off our robot using the big red switch on the back.
I think Kevin was going for another knockout moment. He wasn't able to succeed. Squire is now free and driving better than it was before it got stuck.
Yeah, it's got at least a little bit of crab walk motion using the left side, maybe a little forward motion as well. We're coming down on the last 10 seconds. This will be a judge's decision.
Those 3 minutes flew by. This is going to the judges. And what a last impression for Squire there, getting Claw Viper up on its head. So the judges will be judging that fight on damage, control, and aggression. Control, obviously, I think has to go to Red Storm.
Yeah, I would say beyond a doubt there. Damage is going to be tough to say. I couldn't quite tell if that drive side on Squire came back or not. If it did come back, then I think that's a clear favor for Red Storm. If not, it's relatively even.
Yeah, I mean, even in the very beginning of that match when Red Storm had Squire pinned up on the side rail, while doing that, it was still taking damage from that spinner on Squire. I don't know how effective it was, but those were still hits and they count as damage.
You can see that confidence as they walked in. We're going to see as soon as the judges come back whether or not that was well deserved. Within the match itself, we did have some big hits here, but man, look at the stability on Red Storm. It took that hit from Squire, and it was still immediately able to get around to the side, get behind Squire, lift, and control the match. There's just so much revision and iteration that has gone into Red Storm. Their ability to deflect. Wow, what a happy finish there. Absolutely. I mean, they did make it to 3 minutes, and Red Storm and Kevin are both as highly rated as you can get, essentially. So the fact they made it that far and put on a pretty darn good show, whether or not it goes to the judges, that's still a victory.
Absolutely, and we are getting some statistics here from our chat. 78% of people watching think that Red Storm won that, which is, that's how I would have voted, I think.
Absolutely. I think that is my decision as well.
Yeah. But that is a pretty wide majority. I thought it might be a little bit closer than that. Squire held its own in some very difficult circumstances during that match.
Absolutely. While we wait for that, we are going to go over. I'm getting word that Knockoff White is ready for its match.
Oh.
Let's see how they're doing over here.
Love it.
You can see the Wrigley's coming on in. Foambot making another appearance today. Adam is such a fierce competitor. They are really going to try hard to bring home the win here. I know this is something they are really, really wanting to take home. The final victory today in the 30-pound class.
It's hard to believe that, this is the last fight standing between them and the championship match.
Right. They are on the precipice of glory. But to do so, they're going to have to get through Brandon Bennett Young and Vorion.
You gotta, man, you see so many of these bots. They have large teams. They have a lot of, people in the pits helping them out. And often Brandon does. He has his brother join him quite often. But right now, he's going solo. He is the sole person in charge of this bot, and he is doing such a fantastic job.
Brandon is a person that just thrives on focus and dedication. And sometimes less is more when you talk about a team and bringing a robot and just being able to be dead set on this is what I need to do. This is how I'm going to get through the match. This is how I'm going to fix my robot in between the matches. And that has been Brandon for the last 3 days.
Absolutely.
Focused
Ricky,
and determined.
I hate to cut you off, but we have a judge's decision.
Oh, it's here.
It's here. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready for it. Let's do it.
Let's see. Wow, and there we go.
Very decisive. Across the board, Red Storm, relatively close numbers as well. I think that's about how I would have called it. Great performance by Kevin Milchowski. He is moving on to the finals, and we're going to find out in this fight between Vorion and Knockoff White who he's going to be facing next.
I think if you're Red Storm,
yeah,
take either one.
We'll see. We're going to go to the tail of the tape. Brandon Bennett Young and Vorion with his two-wheel drive vertical disc. That is a quick robot. That is 20 miles an hour navigating around the arena, but only has 2 inches of weapon reach. That disc is nasty, but it doesn't go too far.
Yeah.
On the other hand, we have Adam Wrigley and his 55-pound shuffler robot in the 30-pound class. A nasty hammer, can drive about 15 miles an hour, but has 1.5 feet of reach that he can nail opponents with.
Between those forks and that reach, Knockoff White is a real formidable opponent, and it's now going into its square.
Yeah, there are not a lot of robots here that can feel comfortable tanking hits from Vorion, but Knockoff White is one of those robots. So it's going to take a lot of great driving from Brandon in order to really deliver a killing blow that he needs here.
Absolutely. This is a tough matchup for him, but there are
5,
avenues to win.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Fight, robots.
And away we go. Vorion up to speed.
The speed on Knockoff White, despite not having traditional wheels, is really impressive.
They are being very conservative with that hammer.
And Vorion doing a fantastic job pinning Knockoff White, even just briefly.
Yeah, shows a surprise. Oh, big hit there.
Wow. In terms of pushing power, I'm really impressed by what Vorion is bringing to the table.
Yeah, at this point in NHRL's history, you do not bring a robot incapable of pushing around something heavier than you.
It was able to get some nasty little hits on the underbelly there of Knockoff White, and now it is shredding parts off the side.
Yeah, those shuffler pods on the side of Knockoff White are starting to look a little worse for wear.
Wow, that is a big hit, though, from Knockoff White.
That is, and it is lodged in there, Lindsay.
Now, that is the danger of this weapon that we've seen from time to time. But there it goes. It's able to free itself. Vorion taking this opportunity to get some hits right back on it.
Yeah, there are just a tremendous amount of tiny plastic chunks being pulled off of Knockoff White. So far, though, none of those plastic chunks seem critical to its function.
No, and that is so much of what we've come to expect from Knockoff White, where you'll see parts fly, but it's almost ablative. It's not really there for, mechanical purpose, but Vorion is absolutely bullying Knockoff White around.
Yes, this is incredible. You don't see Vorion as a control robot that often, but boy, is it doing a wonderful job of it tonight.
Yeah,
pushing Knockoff White wherever it wants.
This is really elevating Vorion in what I already held in very high esteem, but to see it control a control bot is very impressive.
Yeah, and let's see here. Is that weapon slowed down on Vorion, though?
It does not appear to be running. Unsure if he is just taking a break from it or it has had some critical damage.
It's hard to say, but they are doing exceptionally well with control and aggression. Oh, that is a right side drive issue now on Vorion. I don't think that robot expected to be pushing around quite so much weight for so much of the match. Still, even with limited drive.
Wow, with just 20 seconds left here, it's just limping to the finish for both of these robots.
Yeah, however, the left side drive on Knockoff White also appears to be non-functional, or rather less functional than it started the match.
But its weapon is working, and I have not seen it come back on Vorion. That may be a decisive factor.
Very well could be, as this goes to the judges. You'll also notice the mini-bot there for Knockoff White was decapitated. It was incapacitated.
That counts
early in
as
the match.
damage.
That counts as damage. That is a major factor in the eyes of the judges.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna hear back relatively soon. See what's going on.
I'm really excited to see what the audience has to say about this.
Let's check out the replays. Rather, you can see Vorion has just controlled so much of this match. Absolutely intense competitor. So many pieces taken out of the sides of Knockoff White, and that's something that's hard to do. Getting around the sides of our component. I know we talk about this so often. Getting around the side of your opponent is everyone's goal. Vorion was able to do that consistently across this entire match, even when it was starting to suffer in terms of drive.
Incredibly impressive. I am so almost in awe of the ability that Vorion had with just those little forks to be able to get under Knockoff White and push them around.
On the flip side, I think one of these hammer blows really did some damage, landed in just the right spot, and was able to unfortunately take out one of those drive sides. It could also just be that so much pushing occurred. It's hard to design a robot that can handle pushing around that much weight for that much of a match, especially when you're a robot that intends to deliver big hits. I mean, Vorion is not designed to be a control robot.
Yeah,
So-
well, let's take a look at Chris in the pits because I think he has an interview for us.
Oh, all right, Chris.
What's going on?
Hey, folks, I'm here with Kevin Milcheski and Red Storm. Kevin, right before we went camera on here, you were smelling your robot. Can you tell me why you were smelling your robot?
I can't see inside of motors, but I can smell things that come out of them. So sometimes when you burn a motor, it's hard to tell. But if you smell it, you can smell the burning motor, and you know, I got a problem, I got to change it.
Now, you just went up against Squire, and you took your top plate off here, and we got a look inside your bot. It looks like they actually got a couple of great hits on you, but tell us exactly how Red Storm was able to survive those.
Yeah, we took a hit on the bottom plate right between some motors in our front. So that's kind of the only spot in the robot that doesn't have a critical component, and that's where he hit us, which is...
Yeah, look, right there, right in there, you see that deep gouge in the bottom plate. Wow, it missed all of your juicy bits inside, like not a wire, not a motor. Insane. Even if you look at the bottom, can you lift it up here? You can see right how it just ate through the bottom plate. Now, this is aluminum, right?
Yeah, it's 7075 aluminum.
Wow.
So,
Incredible. And then flip it back down. Any other issues? Did any of the motors smell off?
yeah, one of them does smell funny, and it's not working at 100%, so we're going to swap that one out.
Wow. So this is fascinating. I'm learning something new. Apparently, there's a little bit like a wine aficionado. There's you do the swirl, you smell.
It's an acquired taste to smell burning motor.
Well, good luck in the rest of the competition. We'll go back to you guys.
Thanks, Chris. He's a master of olfactory senses, is what I'm getting here. And that is so critical. Those are the tips and tricks that you pick up being an experienced competitor like Kevin. And it can make a huge difference because the robot is functioning, right? I mean, you've got a motor that still spins and you don't exactly know why. And what happens is those wires start to melt together, they start to short out. And once that happens, you are at a much higher risk of burning out entirely in your next match. So
Yeah.
we've actually got some YouTube polls and feedback coming out. For our last match, it was very, very close. There's a slight edge, I think a 52%. Oh! Interesting. Vorion has completely defied that internet poll.
Look how close those scores are. By 1 point, and most of them, just a couple points in the third. Wow. And that reflects the YouTube poll where 52% actually thought it went to knockoff white.
Right.
But you can see how so close. It's hard to...
Very close split decision.
I wonder if the damage on the foam bot, mini bot, was maybe part of the decisive factor in Vorion's favor.
I can imagine so. I mean, that is a major issue. Here's our updated 30-pound bracket. Your finalists in the 30-pound class are going to be Red Storm going up against Vorion. One control robot and one very fierce vertical spinner. Who's going to win is anybody's guess.
You know, Vorion did an incredible job bullying around knockoff white. I don't know if he's going to have that same success with Red Storm, because that is what Red Storm's bread and butter is.
Right.
But, I mean, who's to say? Who knows? Brandon is on a tear, an absolute, just an incredible journey here, and this could be his night.
Yeah, it's true, although that was very close.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we are going to jump back over to the big cages. We've got a 12-pound fight for you. Here is Minor Threat 5 coming through the archway.
Waving to his adoring fans.
It's a little bit of a quiet night on that particular cage since the action's going to go down across the arena, but either way, you can see absolute eye of the tiger there.
Yeah, the focus, the calm, he's in the zone. Minor Threat 5 he has been fighting with this robot for so many years, but he has a formidable opponent in Sombra 12, Tomas and Team AGVS. They are so dedicated to this robot.
Coming from all the way from Brazil, incredible combat robot community over there, and it's always so amazing to see what they bring from the table because it's so different, you know, that side of the world what the meta is, what the competitive robots are, but there is no difference in skill and in terms of intensity. That is a world-class team.
Absolutely. Oh, this is one I'm really excited for. Sombra fought Maximizer on the first night, and it was really incredible because Jake was showing me a part of the frame of Maximizer, and you could see, as you can see right there, Sombra's weapon has has 3 separate bars, and you could see in Maximizer's side the 3 bites. But let's take a look at this tail of the tape here in the 12-pound semifinal. Captains Tomas Rocco on Sombra, Luke Rell on Minor Threat 5. A bit of a different, lower drive speed than we've seen on some other bots. 7 miles per hour for Sombra, 12 for Minor Threat. Weapon on Sombra, Twisted Beater, of course, vertical disc on Minor Threat. But look at this weapon speed. What they lack in maybe the speed of their drive, they make up for in the speed of that weapon. 230 miles per hour on Sombra, 200 on Minor Threat 5. A little bit of an edge to Minor Threat 5, though, in terms of weapon reach, 2 inches compared to just 1.25.
I want to throw this out there, too, Lindsay. You can see on Sombra, that is a tri-bladed weapon, incredibly unusual in the robot combat world. Going up against Minor Threat 5, they have a one-tooth weapon. What that's going to mean is it's incredibly hard for Minor Threat 5 to get the first hit, because the other robot is going to hit 3 times in the time it takes, well, more than 3 times, because they also have a higher tip speed.
Right.
So when Minor Threat 5 hits, it's going to hit really hard, but it's going to be hard for them to actually land the hit itself.
That's some great insight. Let's see how it plays out in real time here. Sombra going in for that weapon-on-weapon hit. I heard something fly off, although I can't see what it was.
I think that was hardened metal hitting hardened metal. It had that ting, that ringing noise to it.
Oh, there you go. Yep. Minor Threat 5 not being able to get the better of these exchanges, but able to kind of deflect, but not there.
Sombra hits so hard. Every one of these exchanges is absolutely brutal. Oh my, Minor Threat 5, wow. What a move! Just barely inching in time, able to turn its weapon towards Sombra at the last second.
Oh my God, that hit!
What a slugfest, Lindsay.
Hide your children, hide your wives. This one is a scary one.
Both robots still incredibly functional.
I mean, Minor Threat 5 has some incredible durability. It is taking these hits like a champion, but Sombra keeps dishing them out, sending them flying on their head over and over and over.
Neither robot is showing any signs of slowing down, which is just incredible. I spoke too soon. Minor Threat 5's weapon has stopped.
It's suddenly a little quieter in the box.
We'll see if they can spin back up, but right now it is all Sombra.
Just kicking it around like a kid at soccer practice. Or football practice. They're Brazilian.
Oh, yeah, well. How kind of you to be considerate.
That mini-bot trying to really, make an impact here, but Sombra's been able to evade it.
Oh, I see a little bit of spinning.
Wow.
Lindsay, this is one of those times, I think there is a phase down on Minor Threat 5's weapon. You have 3 phases in those brushless motors, and when one breaks, you get some twitching, you get some movement, but you don't get a nice spin the way you want.
All right, that mini-bot there for Sombra, using this opportunity to get a little pin in.
Yeah, that is a perfectly executed pin. They're only going to be able to do that so long.
You have to disengage after 10 seconds, or, your main bot, Sombra, comes in and dislodges it for you.
Yeah.
20 seconds left here. Minor Threat having some difficulty turning itself around. Flo trying to help, but I'm not sure what it could do at this point. I see the mini-bot, however, on Sombra, it looks to be without a wheel.
Yeah, that could be the case.
That's some damage.
We're coming down on the last moments.
Wow. Big
it's
big hits.
going to a judge's decision, but Lindsay, I don't think there's a lot of mystery here as to what happened in that fight.
No, you see big hugs there between Team AGVS. Tomas and his teammate there really putting on a masterclass. All right, I think they are being asked to show some functionality.
Yeah, it's going to go to the replay. In the meantime, these robots went flying so consistently. This is one of the most energetic matches that we've had in quite a while. Most kinetic matches, you might say. Really, it was very neck and neck for a large portion of the match. And slowly, Sombra starts winning more and more of these exchanges. By the end of the match, half of the systems had gone down on Minor Threat 5, maybe even more than half. I guess the weapon and one of the two drive sides was suffering. That was really it. I mean, once the weapon went down, Sombra was able to kick Minor Threat 5 around the arena without a whole lot of effort, and I think that's all she wrote.
Yeah, I mean, as well as Minor Threat 5 did at hanging in there, it really just was a one-sided fight. Sombra really brought it to them. And if I was going into the finals, I would be terrified of facing them.
Yeah, I mean, Sombra is a competitor that no one here is excited to fight, at least if they care about repairing their own robot. But they have tried so hard for so long to work their way to the finals in an event like this. I'm sure it is incredible to be a Brazilian right now.
Yes, absolutely. Well, let's go check in with Chris because I think he has the man of the hour, Brandon, here with us. Chris, what's up?
Hey guys, yeah, I do. I have Brandon Bennett Young and Vorion, who looks like it could use a little bit of polishing right now. Now, Brandon, you just went head-to-head with Knockoff White, and Knockoff White looks like hit you over the head a few times, but you eked out that judge's decision. Tell us how that went.
Yeah, so Knockoff White's a really good machine because he shortened his axe so he could hit me about anywhere on the robot. So I had to really drive aggressively to force myself into the robot, sort of suck it in with the blade. So the whole time I was trying to press him. And I used the new sort of drive ESC this fight to try to get more control, and it worked out just fine.
Now let's take a close look at the top of this bot, and I'm going to try not to literally eviscerate my hands. Look at what Knockoff White did to the top armor across. It literally punched this thing out, right?
Yeah. So that's actually where the weapon controller is. So we completely cratered the entire weapon. So that's why it stopped in the middle of the fight. And so he sort of worked his way across the body, sort of you can see it with some holes there, bending in the top there, even with a reinforced top plate. And then as you work sort of across it towards the other side, remarkably, nothing mechanically is broken, but he did actually snip the receiver wires here.
Look at this. So let me just show you. Not only can it punch through what looks like carbon fiber over here, but this is something that can literally shut down your entire robot. This is the antenna on your RC, right?
Okay, that's correct. So the receiver was trying to receive commands through those two wires. So I had the spare, so glad for that. Kept it going during the fight, but I think by hitting the second one, it sort of made it more spotty than it should have. And even looking at the robot now, I didn't see anything that was very clearly damaged, so it's going to take a lot more diagnosis.
Yeah, so look, you can even see where this one is sheared just a little bit. It almost made it through the second one. Then you might have been up the creek, let's say, right?
Yeah. All the drives on the left side, weapons on the right side. So if you killed the right side up, so if you killed the left side up, it'd be pretty sad.
So do you have your work cut out for you to get this all back together and ready for the next round?
Yes, it's me a lot of tuning on it for sure, and you figure out exactly what's wrong with it. But I also do have a second Vorion that is just sort of sitting and waiting. So it's a good backup if I have to, but this one just drove so well I want to get it going again.
All right. Brandon Bennett Young, back to you guys.
Thanks, Chris, very much. I mean, man, Knockoff White hits like a tank, but also very precise.
Very precise. It is incredible that Brandon said he took no mechanical damage in that, because if you looked at that robot, it looks like it is in shambles.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean, he has a spare. He is prepared. If I were him, I'd probably want to just use that spare.
I think so. We're going to go to the judge's decision for that last fight that we just watched. Here it is across the board. No surprise there, folks. We've got Sombra 12 taking home the lion's share of the points there. They will be moving on to the finals. But first, we're going to find out who they're going to be facing in the 12-pound finals. We've got Cthulhu entering the arena now.
Got Corey and the Coakley brothers, Owen there. soaking in that fan reaction.
Cthulhu has really been a force to be reckoned with the last, I don't know how many events, but they are not an old robot. This is a relatively new design that has soared through the ranks here at NHRL, and it is one of the nastiest hitters that we have in the 12-pound class. Going up against Cthulhu is going to be HoneyShock from Team Honeycracked.
It is incredible to see Stack here representing Team Honeycracked. That is headed by Zoe Lambert there, coach extraordinaire. It is amazing to see how far this team has come. I cannot wait to see what happens here. These are some of the freshest faces in the sport.
Yeah, there is so much energy and excitement and passion on that side of the cage right now. Of course, they'll be moving to separate sides of the arena and facing off, but whoever wins this is going to be a fantastic competitor, and whoever loses as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, Corey is there with Cthulhu representing this rise of Ohio-based horizontals. Much of the 2023 season at NHRL has been, especially in the 12-pound weight class, dominated by horizontals. But let's take a look at this comparison here. Stack, captain for HoneyShock. Corey, captain for Cthulhu. Similar drive speeds here, 21 for HoneyShock, 25 for Cthulhu. However, a different take on weapons. We got the vertical disc on HoneyShock versus the tried and true horizontal. Now look at this weapon speed here, because this is some of the fastest in the competition. 250 miles an hour on HoneyShock. I did not realize quite how fast that could spin. And then 225 on Cthulhu. However, Cthulhu, obviously being horizontal, does have the reach advantage.
Yeah, they are going to be able to knock around HoneyShock from a distance, and it's really going to be all about that front wedge on the front of HoneyShock, how well it can deflect that energy and, allow Stack to jut in there and deliver killing blows with his vertical spin.
I love that Zoe, who's driving the mini-bot for HoneyShock, also has a beefy wedge. Taking a good hit there right from Cthulhu right off the bat. That mini-bot putting in some work, although I don't think it's going to be quite mobile after that. All right, so we see Cthulhu's weapon just so fast. HoneyShock on its head, trying to overcome this. Loved it. Hit that weapon one more time. I'm seeing it does appear to be some drive issues now on one drive side. The mini-bot from Cthulhu using this opportunity to get a pin, and now Cthulhu, is it going to go in for another hit?
I think they are going to be waiting. Oh, my!
Wow.
I did not expect that. It was a patient kind of polite waiting game, and HoneyShock took full advantage of it.
Now this is quite a strategy here from Cthulhu, where the mini-bot is able to high center HoneyShock and then kind of serves it up on a silver platter to Cthulhu. And because one drive side is down on HoneyShock, there's not really much it can do to kind of break free.
Well, you say that, Lindsay. I think we may have two drive sides down on HoneyShock now. Certainly that left side is trying, but I don't think it's accomplishing much.
Oh, I see a battery pack. Is that a battery pack, Ricky?
We'll see. It could be. This is some incredible mini-bot driving. Some of the most effective mini-bots we've had here. Oh, big chunks coming off of HoneyShock.
HoneyShock trying to get its bearings. Almost flipped itself over with gyro force.
You've got a...
Oh, no. And I think that might have been...
I think we've got a broken camera there.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, those are bits of battery all across the arena, Lindsay. You're 100% right. Still, HoneyShock hanging in there.
HoneyShock said, I didn't hear no bell. I'm here to outlast, outplay.
Come back here and I'll bite you in the kneecaps. That said, this is 90% a battle between HoneyShock and the mini-bot on Cthulhu.
Yeah, although that mini-bot is down a fork, that is still damage.
Yes, it does count against Cthulhu. Perhaps not as heavily as main damage might, but still, it is a point in the favor of HoneyShock.
I love that little maneuver, helping the mini-bot out from under HoneyShock with a little butt nudge. Wow, huge hits there from Cthulhu, who appears to have a better grasp on driving now. But I believe that's the match. This will be going to the judges, but we're seeing a ton of emotion coming out of Cthulhu.
It's a lot of judges' decisions here, Lindsay, and I guess that goes to show how, dialed in and how reliable these robots are.
Not only are these builders all-stars, they're here for a reason, but they've also been here for 3 days now. They've had 3 days to kind of diagnose any gremlins, try and work stuff out, maybe borrow parts from their competitors if they're down something. So, yeah, I mean, these are... At the end of a competition, normally you're on your last legs, but these bots are still giving it their all.
They are indeed. We're going to go to a replay here. You can see some of these immense hits. I got to say, it was Cthulhu doling out the bulk of the damage in this fight. The mini-bot acting as kind of a golf tee.
Yeah.
And Cthulhu coming along and swinging for the hills.
Cthulhu's so impressive. But I gotta hand it to HoneyShock. It had a tough time, but it was durable. It lasted the whole time. And I feel like early on in Team Honeycrack's career, reliability was maybe not always there. But we're seeing that is no longer the case. These robots are going the full 3 minutes. And their glow up has been just an absolute
tremendous
joy to witness.
Well, we are going to have to wait for a judge's decision on that match. In the meantime, I think we are headed up to Chris in the pits. He is pit side with Sombra. If we can take a journey up there, we can get a little bit of intel.
Yeah.
Chris, what do you have for us?
Lindsay, Ricky, I'm here with Tomas and Sombra. 12 just went head-to-head with Minor Threat 5. It went to a judge's decision. Right now, Tomas, you're going into the bot. You're trying to figure out what's going on. You are going to go up to the winner of that judge's decision right there. It could be Cthulhu. What are your thoughts going in? How much repairs do you have?
Yeah, for my lucky, we need just to change the batteries. We have a little adjustments to go to the final, but everything is okay.
When your whole team comes all the way up from Brazil, how many spares do you bring with you?
Today we bring 3 complete robots.
So 3 full robots ready to go. So you're ready for the end of this tournament.
Yeah, and I will say thank for all my team members that not came here, but helped me a lot in Brazil. Pajé, Wagner, all my team, all team members.
Well, good luck to you. There's a couple of fights left. I wish you guys the best of luck. Thank you for coming all the way up from Brazil. It's awesome. We loved AGVS. Thank you. Back to you guys at the desk.
Awesome, Chris. Thank you very much. What do we got next, Lindsay?
Well, loading in, I do see, well, I'm not quite sure. It looks like maybe Hot Wings.
We are going to head to the 3-pound fights relatively soon. We got a little bit before then.
Yes, because the judges are asking for a weapon functionality test or an overall functionality test from that last match.
I think what we're going to do moving forward here tonight is get that weapon functionality, get that drive functionality test after each match. Because we are going to the judges so often, we're just going to assume that in these high-stakes fights, that's something that they're going to want to see. So after each fight, we will be asking the competitors to demonstrate the systems on their robot. That will let the judges make a better decision in terms of who inflicted the most damage on their opponent throughout the match.
Yeah, and when stakes are this high and you're a judge, you want to make sure that you have taken every single thing into consideration, that you didn't miss anything, because you want to feel confident that you're making the right decision, especially when so many of these matches have been so close.
Right. I mean, we are talking down to single points in some cases.
Yeah.
And with the money we've got on the line, with the prestige we've got on the line, that's a big deal.
not only that, but there's a trophy on the line.
Yeah,
a platinum dumpster.
I'm really excited to see the platinum dumpsters that we're going to wheel out here. I assume they're on wheels.
They are. They're gorgeous. They're shiny. And if I
got a nice sheen.
Yeah. Oh, the sheen is.
Henchman Sam backstage polishing them as we speak.
That's why he's not here right now, because he's alone in a room just spit polishing all of the platinum.
Got big tubs of pumice. Yeah, I got it. I got it.
But if I were here and I was competing, I would want one of those dumpsters.
I hear the judge's decision noise.
Yes.
Lately, that's been kind of ominous. It's a very close call, I'm being told.
It's close, really.
And the decision is close. Lately, it's just been taunting us, being like, it's about, oh, wait, no, here it is. This just in. Cthulhu across the board. I don't think that was a huge surprise.
Neil, the producer, telling us it's close.
But let's be honest here. That is an amazing score. When is the last time we saw a 0 come up in terms of scoring? Even a 1 or a 2 is fairly rare.
Right. I don't think I have ever seen that. I also feel like a 0 is maybe a little harsh. But I'm not a judge. I'm not here to judge judges.
That said, with that win, we can now check out our 12-pound bracket. Obviously, we know now who are going to be in our finals. We're going to have Sombra, the Brazilian bar spinner, going up against Cthulhu, the horizontal terror of Eldritch Nightmares. That should be an incredible fight. Yeah,
extremely kinetic.
Extremely kinetic is an understatement. Those robots are going to be flying everywhere, and I cannot wait to see it.
I will be surprised if it goes the full 3 minutes.
I will too. Moving our attention, we're going to jump back to the 3-pound class. I'm told the Hot Wings is making its way to the arena right now.
Welcome, Eli. I love them. I love them together. And I love this team. I love this spot. You know, it's so great to see Eli here. Hot Wings had a bit of a rough start, and it really worked out those gremlins, and it is looking so good. And here it is looking so gold because it is ready for some fire.
Now, this is pretty interesting, right? Well, first, let's go to Dutch Oven making their way into the arena. They are going to be a Hot Wings competitor. Dutch Oven has been a sensation here at NHRL All-Stars, absolutely torching the competition. Too hot to handle.
Wow.
This is one of the most advanced flame robots in all of robot combat, not just NHRL. They have been bringing so much heat to the arena. And so many unnerving, googly eyes.
You know, I was talking to Alex Grant, the captain in the pits, the other day, and he was saying, you know, there have been a couple disappointing performances for Dutch Oven. He wasn't really sure if it was going to be able to deliver on his vision, deliver on all the hard work he has been putting into it. I think that this event puts all that to shame. Let's take a look here. Alex and Eli going head-to-head, face-to-face. The shuffler on Dutch Oven is its drive, but also the drive on Hot Wings. So battle of the shufflers.
Yeah, not something we see that often. Now, what you'll notice here is normally Hot Wings has an incredible reach. 6 inches is a tremendous amount of reach for a 3-pound robot. That is nothing compared to the 4 feet of reach that Dutch Oven brings to the table. Hot Wings is going to need to close that gap very quickly if they want to bring something. Also, the flames on Dutch Oven are just a little bit hotter than those red-hot igniters. I think they're glow plugs that are used as weapons on Hot Wings. So it's going to be a lot to stand up to. Now, ordinarily, you have a robot going up against another robot like this, and you plan for something. You put that gold foil, that yellow foil, that white foil, the silver foil. That gives you some level of protection against flame robots and other heat-based opponents, right?
Yeah, and I'm actually being told that we have heard from one of the builders about their plan for this match. No. Scratch that. What it means to be an all-star.
Ah, all right. Well, let's hear about it.
I'd love to hear it.
Dutch Oven is an all-star robot because it has an all-star crew behind it. We have a team of awesome engineers
that in this case I was leading up the design work for Dutch Oven, but like we have really ultimately is an awesome pit crew behind it. Like we have this really cool mini bot that Aaron built this year for this All-Stars event based off of Supreme Ruler. Hopefully we'll be able to use that a bit more in our next fight. But the Dutch Oven was a robot that came from an idea of trying to shift the meta and prove that flame robots are not just a meme, they're not just for show, that there's something that you have to worry about and you have to account for in a robot design. Because if you don't, then you'll see what happens, and I think we did last night.
These are two extremely hot robots. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm so excited though. And it's nice to see the eyes back on Dutch Oven. I feel like maybe that was what was missing all these tournaments. Now the bot is fully complete.
We will find out soon enough. Now it's interesting, there are flammable surfaces on the outside of Dutch Oven that can be targeted by Hot Wings. And you can see they've added this massive plow to give a little distance between the flamethrower on Dutch Oven. Maybe deflect some of that flame back towards Dutch Oven. I mean, that would be great.
That's a
for
really
Hot Wings.
smart design.
Right. That could have been a flat piece of metal, and instead it's curved, and that may redirect some of that fire rearwards, in which case we could have some big fireballs here at the NHRL Norwalk headquarters.
I'm counting on it.
Either way, we're going to have a lot of fire here in just a few minutes, as long as Dutch Oven is able to spin up its flamethrower.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Fight, robots.
Away
Here we go! Fire right off the bat!
Wow, that is an impressive amount of resistance that front plow on Hot Wings is giving to Dutch Oven.
I am already seeing a ton of smoke. It looks like...
Oh my goodness,
Wow.
Lindsay, that is so much fire. Hot Wings is totally engulfed.
This
It's
is an
immolated.
inferno.
This isn't a match, it's a barbecue.
Grab some marshmallows, but don't eat them. I don't think that's safe.
Someone bring back those hot dogs. Oh, Lindsay, do you know what's happened?
It's
the tape that they've used to secure the aluminum to the robot. Turns out that's flammable. All of that aluminum tape has a rubber backing that likes to burn. Dutch Oven is facing down a robot that is covered in flammable rubber with only a tiny layer of aluminum foil to protect it.
Dutch Oven is a robot straight out of hell. I don't know how else you can explain that flame.
We're going to pause the fight. This is considered entanglement. These two robots are stuck together. We're going to see what we can do about that. All the while, the robots, Hot Wings is sitting there literally on fire while this is happening.
Not ideal for them. Now, we have seen Dutch Oven have some issues getting unstuck from their opponents because of their forks, but that's not the case here.
No, what happened here is that the arm on Hot Wings is melted to Dutch Oven. Or it was melted to Dutch Oven. However, both robots are still operational. I mean, this is impressive. Oh, look at that red hot poker. The arm on Hot Wings is still very much functional as we go into the second half of this match.
They desperately hope that they can land anything on Dutch Oven, but it's so difficult to get around those flames.
It truly is. That is so much heat.
The way that the flames cascade out from that robot at times almost make a star pattern. I've never seen flames move in that formation before.
No, it is stunning. Stunningly flammable. I think the house bot's getting a little toasty there in that case.
How is Hot Wings still functional?
Well, you bring a robot that brings the heat, tends to be able to tolerate standing in the kitchen. This is incredible, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
Both of these robots. Look, Hot Wings is winning the pushing match in some of these cases. Not all the time, but it is definitely able to bring some force to the table still.
This is a whole new definition to the term Hot Wings. 45 seconds left here. If Hot Wings can survive it, so far doing an incredible job staying alive despite parts scattered everywhere, despite its arms falling off. I don't know how it's still alive.
Really, really crazy. We're coming down under 30 seconds left in the match.
I don't know if Dutch Oven has any more fuel, and so now it's just using its trapper wildly as
a hammer bot. Yeah. Now remember, running out of fuel does not count as damage, but it does leave you vulnerable to counterattacks.
Absolutely.
The fact that Hot Wings has brought it this far in the arena, and look, that weapon arm is still operating.
This is incredible.
That is your match, ladies and gentlemen. This will be going to the judges. That is a huge amount of fire in a very small space.
I would love to be able to take a look at inside Hot... Well, I guess
there won't be an inside Hot Wings for very long, Lindsay. It made it to the end of the match, but I don't think it's going to make it another minute or two.
Our henchman Rob here is ready with the extinguisher.
This damage, keep in mind, this does not count as further damage, but it's still a little ridiculous.
The crowd going wild. Team seems reasonable going wild.
Yeah, our cages here are outfitted with fume evacuation systems that are, no peer in the industry anywhere else that we know of. But at the same time, sometimes you got to go in there with a fire extinguisher. We're going to go to the replay here.
Let's take a look. Right off the bat, I mean, it was already on fire, having some mobility issues, and then Dutch Oven got around to the side and said, hey, let me torch you from here, too.
I wonder if there's any Dutch lineage on the Dutch Oven team.
We're going to have to talk to Alex to get to the bottom of that.
We'll find out. Look at so much focus. Now, this is a little ridiculous. It's 3 people all crowded around this controller. It takes 3 people to operate this robot. And for whatever reason, perhaps space, perhaps practicality, they've decided that all 3 people should be plugged into the same transmitter at the same time.
I can't say I've ever seen that before, but if it works for them, and clearly it does.
Yeah, I mean...
I'm not going to question it.
No, you can't argue with the results.
Let's go check in with Chris in the pits while we clean out cage 3.
Yeah, we got some melted lights to clean up. Chris, what do you got?
All right, so this is crazy. Yesterday we had mentioned we had the 2 Coakley brothers here. The third Coakley brother is here. We have all of the Coakleys are here. So by day they solve crimes, and by night they come here and they win judges' decisions. You're going in right now into the final match against Sombra 12, one of the hardest hitting beaters that we have out there. What are you guys thinking?
Mini bot, ball out and win the fight, I mean, it's definitely a hard fight. Probably, I want to say, one of the hardest hitting bots in the arena. Definitely easy ways to get bites. I'm going to try to play it as safe as I can, but this is going to be a big slugfest. Try to tee them up as much as we can, but I mean, it is what it is. We're just going to be a slugfest trading blows, so it's survivability is what it really is. Yeah.
All right, do you think that you're bringing the All-Stars Championship trophy back to Ohio?
I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, I hope so. Third bot. This thing's never fought before this competition. We're good to go. Fire and All-Stars. This thing's pretty dialed in right now. If anything goes wrong, weapon blows out, that's unprecedented. We should be locked and loaded, so.
Well, this is your last bot. It looks like it's in great shape. A tale as old as time. Ohio versus Brazil. The Coakley brothers. Good luck in your mysteries tomorrow, and good luck in your last match tonight.
Thank you very much, guys.
Back to you.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. We have a huge amount of fire extinguishing still going on. Sometimes we use the fire extinguishers here not just to put out fires, but to cool the robots so they can be safely moved out of the arena. I think that's a lot of what we got going on. It's just a molten pile of plastic over there.
I mean, at the end of the day, these robots are made out of plastic, and when you mix it with fire, that's what's going to happen.
This is something really interesting, Lindsay. For years, a lot of 3-pound robots were still made of metal, just like the larger weight classes. But as 3D printers took off, as materials science advanced, we started to have some interesting polymer, plastic-based 3-pound robots. As fire robots now come to the front of the scene, do you think that's going to change?
I think that this tournament is showing that people are going to have to come up with really creative solutions if they want to continue using 3D printed parts for their robot. There might be a way around it. I don't know how well aluminum or fire tape is working. But also, you know, there is a lot of benefits to using 3D printed parts as well. So maybe you just keep your fingers crossed that you don't come across a fire breather.
Little of each. That said, the decision is in. We don't have to be on the edge of our seats any longer. Is it going to be Dutch oven or is it going to be the molten pile of plastic? It is Dutch oven! Congrats. Very consistent scoring there. Dutch oven will be moving on to the finals. Interestingly enough, the robot that will be fighting Dutch Oven is also going to be fighting in Cage 3. Cage 3 is our dedicated fire safety cage, so we need to wait a little bit longer because in just a few minutes, who do we have fighting in Cage 3? Mixtape. Mixtape is our other world-class fire robot here. They are going to be battling for their chance in the 3-pound finals. And you're about to see a lot more fire. This crowd is excited to see the fire, I think. We've got, well, they might be excited for the food too, but there's a lot of cheering. Take a sip, take a snack, and then work your way back here for the real barbecue. Hot wings. Sorry, well, we just had Hot Wings in Dutch Oven. We're going to have Mixtape going up against Crashfest.
Hot Wings is currently being removed from the cage in what I can only call a catering tray.
Yeah, I think that's literally what that is.
I do want to say, though, that Cage 3, this is the best it has looked after 3 nights of just pure fire carnage. The lights have stabilized. I don't see a ton of plastic melting off of them. All of the screens are still up on the side. Any 3D printed parts have either been fixed or replaced.
Working their best. Now, our next fight, we've got Mixtape, as we mentioned, coming up next. We talked to Mixtape before this, said, you know, what does it mean to you to be an all-star? And we're going to go to that now.
What makes me and Mixtape All-Stars is the combination of one of the best beetle builders in the world and one of the most fun and outrageous flame robots in the competition.
I love Calvin Eba because he can say something like, I'm one of the best beetle builders in the world, and it doesn't come off as a brag because numerically, the facts are there. It's indisputable.
The history is there. The facts are there. He's just making a statement. It's not exactly a claim. You can check out online, see all the wins that he's had, all of the incredible battles that he's fought. Not just here. I mean, he's a West Coast institution. He's definitely earned his spot. Maybe not at the tippy top of the podium. I mean, there's a lot of battle for who's number one. But certainly he is in the upper pantheon of 3-pound and other weight class builders in the robotic world.
Absolutely. And so now I would love to check in with Robert Rund and why he thinks he's an all-star.
No matter what fights it goes into, it always has a shot. I mean, people are already making Crashfest modes because Crashfest is just a little durable beach toy with sand shovel. So I just, as I've said before, the community's awesome. I think that helped in becoming an all-star, but I'm having a blast. I always have fun. So it's great to be an all-star.
I really love the sincere appreciation that we hear from Robert every time you talk to him. He is always having a good day whenever he's having a day at NHRL, and that rubs off on you. He's not exactly like a bubbly, energetic person, but that kind of like earnest appreciation and goodwill, it's unshakable.
Yeah, and he had been a competitor in years past, took a lengthy break from combat robotics, came back last year, and really hit the scene with a bang with this lovable sand shovel robot that is Crashfest. He won a tournament. He has a golden Brett, or a golden dumpster, I should say, and I know he would love a platinum dumpster.
Oh,
as
absolutely.
well.
I think that's one step up, just one step up. Because, folks, we have a lot of tournaments here that, generally speaking, our tournaments here at NHRL are open to anyone. You can show up, bring a robot, fight your best, fight against the best, and earn a spot in the championship later in the year, and then win, the whole shebang. This All-Star event is a little bit different. We have brought in what we consider not only the best of the best, but the most entertaining, the most good-hearted, and the most creative builders that we possibly can. And it gives us a chance to try out some new stuff. It gives us a chance to do amazing things for you, and it gives us a chance to see fights that you might not otherwise see. I mean, at what point do we have a sand shovel going up against a weaponized hugging robot, going up against 2 flamethrowers in the 3-pound class? It doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen. It's not something that you would see really anywhere else on planet Earth. I feel pretty confident in saying that. So if you like what you're seeing and this is pretty cool to you, please like and subscribe. You can see more of this. We fight all the time, and it's just something that you can't really see anywhere else.
No, and there is a huge backlog. We have so many good fights from so many seasons, and there's only more to come. I mean, this is the next step to some really fantastic content, not just tonight, but for the rest of the NHRL career. So please like, subscribe. We're going to have more of this, and honestly, every night here at Havoc is a good night.
Every night, and I just feel like we are in the precipice of combat robotics, and it's come so far, and we still have so much more to go. Every event iterates on itself, and you see just, the builders are able to test new ideas, test new plans, strategies, builds, materials, that it moves so quickly. So a bot that you see in January is going to look different in March, and it's going to look different in May, and so on and so forth, because you're able to fight and learn so much in between.
Yep. Speaking of fights and learning in between, we are ready to go into Cage 3. Entering the arena now, we have Calviniba and Mixtape.
One of the indisputable goats of this sport.
Give me fuel, give me fire.
Oh, he's
All
excited.
smiles.
You can see that big smile on him. He plays it pretty cool a lot, but it's nice to see him smile.
I think there is a lot of confidence coming in here. We were able to up the fuel allocation to the full originally anticipated 8 ounces. Calvin is going to be able to run that robot much harder against his opponent, Robert Run, bringing Crashfest to the table.
Wave that sand shovel, Robert. Wave it proud. Oh, our resident hype man, Red, in the crowd. He is so pumped for Robert and Crashfest. Love it.
Crashfest looking out in its Sunday best. It is gold head to toe. Hoping that reflective foil does a little bit more for him than the reflective foil did a few moments ago for Hot Wings, but we will find out soon enough.
Let's hope on Robert's behalf.
The metallicized foil really does make a difference. It's just these robots are so darn hot. Of course, Mixtape coming in here, 4-wheel drive flamethrower robot. Pretty fantastic record, especially for a flame robot. But he's going up against Robert Rund, 2-wheel drive lifter. Look at that experience. I mean, that is 41 fights. I can math, I swear, guys. That's an incredible history here at NHRL. That kind of experience cannot be bought, and that is going to make it quite an uphill battle for Mixtape and Calvin.
Now, Ricky, I have an interesting fact for you.
Hit me.
Robert has decided to change the name of Crashfest.
Okay.
It is now Goldie Fest.
Goldie Fest. Cute. I can get behind that.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Fight, robots.
Away we go. Fire up to speed on Mixtape. That is
There we go. Already, Crashfest appears to be half on fire, but put out by now.
Oh, and a great pin by Crashfest. That's exactly what it's going to need to do over and over again in this fight in order to win.
That is textbook Crashfest. And it does appear that the forks and Crashfest are doing a great job getting under Mixtape when it can get there.
It is so hard to just keep an eye on the robots in the cage, Lindsay. That fire is so intense.
It is
another great
masterclass.
pin. Robert is such a powerful driver at this point. He has so much practice with Crashfest. Even a driver as talented as Calvin is going to struggle against Robert. And that shovel is doomed.
It's incredible how come Robert is driving here. You see him there. He's focused. If I was in threat of being on fire at any given moment, I would be shaking in my boots. But he's really bringing it into Mixtape. Normally, I would say robots try to keep their distance from Mixtape because of the length of that flame, and it kind of acts as a keep-away stick.
Oh my God, look at that, Lindsay. That is an incredible pin. That is a tremendous amount of fire. They can only hold it so long. Oh my, Lindsay, they may be melted together. No, they are free.
That's one hot booty.
Yeah, it is.
This is so back and forth. These bots are not calling it quits.
The little lifter that could is giving no sign of slowing down. Another pin.
Mixtape able to free itself that time, but right back into the clutches of Crashfest Forks.
These robots are absolutely neck and neck. Neither has a distinct advantage in terms of damage yet. I would say Crashfest is pulling out just a little bit more control, but it is so hard to tell. Less than a minute remaining in this match. Very high chances we will be going to the judges, and that is not a job I'm envious of at this particular moment.
Absolutely not, but that fireball is massive. That is what you want to see if you're Calvin Eba. Not what you want to see if you're Robert. And there with that pin, bringing that fire to the side of Crashfest. Hot, hot, hot.
Look at that pin. You can see smoke is now coming off of Crashfest. Its tires are going to stick a little better to the floor. An incredible final pin from Crashfest going into a judge's decision. Some distinctive lifting. Lindsay, that is an incredible match. These are some of the best driven robots and some of the best constructed robots. This is anyone's game.
This is not a place I'd want to be if I were a judge. The crowd was going absolutely wild, loving every single pin from Robert and every single plume of flame from Calvin. Those wheels have held up remarkably well on Crashfest. I saw some streaks from when they were getting a little bit melted, but otherwise fully functional, both robots at the end of this match.
Yeah, that is incredible, the durability. I cannot stress to you how hot those flames are coming out of Mixtape, really second only to Dutch Oven. We're going to go to a replay here and take a look. You can see these pins after pins, both robots taking each other to the walls, taking each other through the arena.
Robert drove like his life was on the line. He drove a perfect match here.
Yeah, essentially doing as best as you can possibly hope and really able to bring such a sense of control, such a sense of aggression, and not take an ounce of visible damage. I mean, maybe that the tires are singed a little bit melted. On the flip side, I didn't see any visible damage on Mixtape as well. So that is going to be absolutely neck and neck. We're going to check in with Chris while we wait for that judge's decision, but they might need a little bit of time. Chris, take your time. Tell us what's going on up there.
So yeah, things are getting really hot up here. I'm here with Eli, and look at Hot Wings. Look at Hot Wings. Eli, buddy, tell me what's going on here.
Oh man, that was a rough fight, but man, that was a heck of a lot of fun. It was just insane. I'm really happy with how the robot held up, even though we lost. And huge props to Alex, man. I mean, he made a killer machine this event, and I'm really impressed. So
it's so awesome seeing this bracket of non-traditional weapons. We have flamethrowers, we have glow plugs, we have weaponized, beach shovels. What's it like being in, the Final Four with bots that wouldn't traditionally be in the Final Four for this weight class?
I think it's really redeeming, honestly. I mean, the other robots, as they're called, you know, it makes them sound like misfits, right? But I think all of us are kind of rooting for each other. We're all helping each other out. You know, just to be in the Final Four with these other guys, really, really happy.
I'm so ecstatic to be up here right now because this is a little bit of the celebration of the island of misfit toys. The camp up here is split right down the middle. Watching that last match with Mixtape and Crashfest, half the crowd is cheering for Crashfest, half of it is cheering for Mixtape. What do you think is going to happen here? Is Fire going to end up winning this thing?
I mean, I think Alex is going to be tough to beat, whether Robert comes out ahead or Calvin with Mixtape comes out ahead. I think Robert looks really good, honestly. So we might get a Fire versus final, or we might get a Fire versus Sand Shovel final. Either way, I think the crowd's going to be happy. So.
Well, Eli, awesome year you had. Obviously, you know my philosophy. This is one of the coolest new bots on the planet. I am obsessed with this design. Thank you for coming out to All-Stars. We're going to catch up with Dutch Oven in just a little bit, but back to you guys.
Hey, thanks so much, Krish. Appreciate that. I got to say, coolest robots? Maybe. Hottest robots? Absolutely. These things just like tickle me on a level that is hard to describe. I am a little bit of a firebug, and this is lovely. In the meantime, we're going to go to the judge's decision. What do we have here? Crashfest across the board. Single point, 3-point spread. You know, that judge number 3 has been a little more heavy-handed, but has been relatively consistent with the other judges.
They've been on the right side, even if they've been seeing things a little bit differently. But you know what? I'm not surprised to see it that close, and I'm also not surprised to see that Robert and Crashfest took the W on that one. He is going to have to hope that that gold tape really serves its purpose in the next match, because as much as I love the flame on Mixtape, what Dutch Oven brings is on another world. It's another realm.
Absolutely is. I mean, it's the fact that they have a fan turning that robot into like a forge means it is so hot. Here's your 3-pound bracket. You can see the journeys these robots have taken, but it is going to be a Dutch Oven Flamethrower Bot final going up against the master of durability, Robert Run, bringing Crashfest, the Sand Shovel Lifter, to the 3-pound finals. This is one of the most unusual finals we have ever had here at NHRL. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and say this is the most unusual final, period.
Absolutely.
And I cannot wait to see it. This is Robert Run, a person who prides himself on an incredibly durable robot, but a plastic robot nonetheless.
All plastic.
Going up against an incredibly fierce flamethrower robot that could, you know, on a good day, reduce Robert's robot to just a pile of molten plastic. So it's going to be a driving test, you know, through and through.
I think even if Robert was able to use that tape effectively, if Dutch Oven is able to use that kind of bear trapper claw and get it in its grasp, those wheels are going to have a really difficult time not turning into complete goo upon contact with that flame.
We'll figure out if there's a plan for goo up in the pits. Chris is sitting by with Dutch Oven. What do you got? How gooey you feeling?
All right, so it's getting so hot up here, literally, figuratively, spiritually. I am here with Alex and Dutch Oven. Alex, you're facing Crashfest. We just saw Crashfest go head-to-head with another intense flamethrower. Yep. How does that evolve the way that you're going to be going into this match? What is your strategy?
Strategy's doing exactly what we've been doing. Crashfest did a really good job putting the tape on. Like, he spent all day yesterday getting his Crashfest ready for flamethrowers because he knew he'd be running the gauntlet. So he prepped hard, and that's how it got him the win against Mixtape. So it's hopefully going to be a different story against Dutch Oven because Mixtape is more of a monster trucky robot. It's not going to stay in the fork, the sand shovel, if you will, for very long. So hopefully we grab him and get it done in one pin.
So you get to play a little bit more of the push and pull game with Crashfest, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We can clamp him, hold him, hopefully not let him get around to our side and just get the win.
Well, this is it. The final match. Either way, a non-traditional bot is going to take home the beetle weight. That's so cool.
I'm so excited. It was really fun to see the meta is going to be evolving a lot. Like people are going to be looking at fire robots and control robots a little bit differently after this, hopefully. So
say it with me, fire bots can win.
I hope so.
Back to you guys.
Really appreciate that. I'm interested to see. Crashfest is going to be a robot that may end up being hard to clamp. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
Now, I do want to take a second, folks. We've been having a fantastic time tonight. Incredible fun, incredible experiences, both for the builders, for us, the staff, and of course the audience. But we want to take a second here. Robot combat is a relatively young sport, right? This hasn't been around forever. And this year, unfortunately, we lost one of the true innovators, in fact, maybe the innovator, someone who is credited with essentially the genesis of this sport. And we want to take a second to talk to that. We unfortunately lost this person this year. We want to honor this person, take a second. And if you'll join us, we've got a little bit of a tribute to the one and only Mark Thorpe.
Mark Thorpe was a special effects artist and toy designer. While designing a remote-controlled vacuum cleaner, Mark envisioned a battle between robots wielding various weapons. His event, Robot Wars, wasn't the first of its type, but it was the most popular. Robot Wars moved from California to England and became one of the BBC's most beloved shows. There would be no NHRL or any robot combat without Mark's work. Thank you, Mark.
Stars, I'm joined here. My name is Ricky Williams. I'm joined here by Lindsay Bear. Welcome. This is day 3 of the event. We've had some incredible fights. We've had some incredible spectacles, and I think we've got a little bit more in store, don't you think?
Oh, the spectacles are nowhere near over. We are going to have some flame coming up. We might have another airbag coming up. But let's take a look at the pits. I mean, a lot of people have cleared out because we're down to essentially 6 robots left in this competition. And here we see the space for Hot Wings, pitted next to Monkfish. Hello, Rachel. Hello, Remy. Right next to them, we see Robert Rund and Crashfest desperately getting ready for the finals. There we see Jake Hoffman and Maximizer and Jonathan Schultz with Huge. We might see Jonathan Schultz a little bit later.
Would not be surprised. We've got a lot of competitors clearing out, but those that remain are working their absolute hardest to prepare for their upcoming fights, either to, make their way through the tournament or perhaps just for our own entertainment.
Ricky, what is on the screen right now? What is this?
This is a great question. That looks an awful lot like a 3D printer with knives.
Okay, I was gonna say, Ricky, to me that looks like a 3D printer with knives, but I felt crazy.
No, Lindsay, on a day-to-day basis, I feel like my 3D printer hates me. And
this is its revenge?
I think this is it trying to have a little bit of sweet, sweet revenge. Looks like we've got Emily the engineer going up against Peter Strikehold. Excuse me. This is a creative match, if ever there was one. This is not exactly a main part of our bracket. This is not part of the championship. This is an exhibition for our entertainment, for your entertainment. I hope wherever you are watching right now, you're having a wonderful time.
Hello, William. Hello, Peter.
Trying his best to capture the moment, I'd say. I'm not really sure what's going on in the arena. I see traffic cones. I think I see a takeout container.
I see a flipper robot named Booster.
Booster is one of the most entertaining robots I think we've got here.
Oh, by far. Now, I believe that these creators, Emily and Peter, were tasked with taking the AIRic robot, which is a build-along robot that you can do using the Havoc Academy upcoming masterclass course. And they took the AIRic kit, well, not really a kit, but the AIRic parts. It's certainly not a kit, but they took it and built whatever they felt like doing. And you can see how versatile these parts are. One appears to be an airplane of sorts. I see it's no longer ERIC, but it's AI. AIRic.
You know, Lindsay, I grew up just outside of D.C., and I spent years arguing whether it was the Air Space Museum, as in ERIN, or Air Space Museum, as in AARON, as a little kid.
Oh, so now it's all coming full circle.
Yeah, it's all coming full circle. We're now here with the AIRic kit. Sometimes I had weird ideas as like a 5-year-old.
Ricky, I would venture a guess and say that you might still have weird ideas.
Maybe.
And that's why we love you.
Now they're weird things that I do.
Yeah, now as an adult, you can do those weird things.
Right. Like this, like our wonderful YouTube creators here are doing today. They've shown up, they've done some weird things, and almost all of them are, well, no, all of them have been delightful, even murdering a giant children's hospital full of tiny plastic people.
This one I would say...
Maybe especially.
Yeah, it seems a little bit more wholesome, perhaps. Oh, we're loving the energy from Kevin, the backyard scientist here. All right, now Booster is assuming its position in the pink corner. I don't think it is ever expected to face a robot that was primarily 3D printer and also primarily knife. I don't know what to make of this, but we're in this together, Ricky. And
we'll find out.
We're in this together with the audience,
5,
too.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Fight, robots, fight.
Whoa, Ricky,
wow!
it's flying!
I did not expect it to actually fly in the arena, but here we are.
Oh! Ricky, there's bouncy balls! There are a million bouncy balls all over the arena.
Every cone, I think, is filled with bouncy balls.
If somehow Booster can get to these cones, it can unearth more bouncy balls. I don't know whose favor that's in.
No, I'm not really sure who benefits from the existence or the release of these bouncy balls.
Wow, okay, so with each printer movement,
a stab does occur.
A balloon just went flying through the air. I don't know what's happening. A knife is down. That is an arena
That is clearly
hazard.
damage. I want to see that. Hey! Oh, it's stuck in the wall!
It's stuck
Look at it, Lindsay! That knife is embedded in the arena wall. That is so cool.
That knife is just, it appears to be floating in midair, but no, it is stuck in that Lexan. The 3D printer still printing against all odds. Booster going in for the kill, but it's still going.
It is
and now
still,
Booster's on its head.
The 3D printing is still trying to print.
A knife stuck in the plywood.
It's my stabbing knife.
We're calling for an unstick here.
Calling for an unstick. I think the arena has been stuck enough.
So let's recap. Over the last 3 days, there's been a hot dog matter everywhere, plastic children, and now knives in the Lexan and bouncy balls. This is chaos. This is havoc. This is what we're here for.
Oh, that poor plane. Flippity dippity bippity boppity.
When Chad New built this robot and Booster, do you think this is what he envisioned?
Absolutely. No,
for?
this was his dream.
Not Flo.
Oh my
Not
goodness.
Flo. Oh, so close.
that robot is hundreds and hundreds of pounds. There is a piece of me that's pretty glad that it stayed at least somewhat planted on the ground. I don't know if it was a problem with the flipper or if it was simply, we'll find out, I guess, in a second. No!
Oh, nope.
No, that flipper is, Booster is absolutely no Red Storm. He can lift, maybe move a little, but he's not launching Fluffy or Flo or whichever robot that is up in the air. Lindsay, I will tell you, that's a personal dream of mine, though. I want to see that robot fly, not just flip, not just move, you know,
just
airborne.
Yes, airborne, flutter through the arena. Similar to the way that AIRic did to start off this match.
You know, maybe in January we'll get to see that, Lindsay.
I would love to, Ricky. I hope that
that comes to pass.
True.
Yeah, we'll find out.
This was pure chaos in every way that, again, I didn't know that I needed. I have to hand it to all of these YouTube creators. These are things that I could not have possibly thought of. And now that I've seen them, I'm a better person for it.
I cannot believe that this is embedded in the Lexan.
So we now have a second breach of the arena.
I think it's just embedded in. I don't think it went through, but I am still stunned. That is incredible.
I would love if we can get a close-up on that.
I actually, you know, as a cage safety expert, I feel like maybe I should walk over there and find out. I'm going to take a half a second, Lindsay.
Ricky, go investigate for us. Please bring back what you have learned. Now, there are fire safety marshals all over this building. We have so many safety crew. Nothing here is unsafe. Even if there was a breach of the arena, whether it was from a steak knife or otherwise, there is, I believe, a 3/4 inch gap of air between the first panel of Lexan and the second, so you're totally fine. But here, I mean, look at this carnage. There are bouncy balls everywhere, knives as far as the eye can see. Please, anybody walking in this cage, don't trip on a bouncy ball. You might end up on a knife. We are now investigating. Ricky is returning to the desk. I'd love to hear his analysis of what we've seen. Everyone is now admiring their work, taking photos with the devastation. Now, Ricky, when you're all set up, can you tell us, what did you find?
Lindsay, that is incredible. The velocity that knife must have achieved. There was actually just a millimeter's worth, but there was a tiny amount of puncture through that arena wall. Now, granted, folks at home, you should know, we have 2 arena walls. Inside of each of these arenas, there's 2 layers of bulletproof glass. The inner layer on the larger arena is substantially thinner. It's kind of a sacrificial layer. But it still made it through a substantial amount of bulletproof glass.
Are they going to be able to remove that knife, or is this going to become like an Arthur and the sword? Is that what it's called?
The sword and the stone.
The sword and the stone.
King Arthur, his whole, journey. Yeah. No, I think, they might have to put a couple knives in there and wedge it out, but they'll get it. I cannot believe that. That is so much energy, and I mean, it's such a fine point on the knife to see where it pushes through, and it caught it so well. We're going to go to a replay, but that is incredible. You can see this.
Started off with a bang. AIRic distracting us all with its quick flight from the true carnage that was about to unleash upon us in the form of bouncy ball.
That is incredible.
I am so happy that nobody told me what was going to happen.
No, going in blind was the move.
Just the way that the 3D printer is gently stabbing.
I wish I could have gotten audio, because I feel like those servo noises, or those stepper motor noises. There it is. That is
the moment.
Oh, I see what happened, Lindsay. In addition to the speed moving, the entire weight of that robot moving up pushed that knife into the arena wall. So it had force behind it. I don't know what it weighs, 20, 30 pounds maybe. But it was being pushed by that moving mass on such a tiny point. It was able to shove it right through.
Now, what are the chances of that happening?
1 in a million. But glad we caught it here on camera today. That is incredible.
You know what? The bots that Aaron Hill is involved in building have this track record of getting things stuck in Lexan.
Yeah, it's true. And I mean, again, this is why we have the double layer of Lexan. It is surprisingly easy to get through one layer of Lexan. It's really tough to get through a pair, especially as they get thicker as you go.
What a madman, Aaron Hill.
Fantastic. Wow. I'm going to have to give him a handshake after this. We're going to check in with Chris. Chris is up in the pits. Chris, how are you doing?
Hey guys, I'm here with the guy that took the sword out of the stone himself. I'm here with Robert Rund and Crashfest, who is about to go into the championship match here with a bot that is now mostly tape. You're about to fight maybe the hottest bot of all time in this weight class. What are you thinking, Robert?
I'm ready to be burnt more, just like I was with Mixtape. I'm gonna upgrade, put more tape on where Mixtape got through it. I'm gonna just do what I did versus Mixtape, try to drive the best shoe I can so he can't do his little super flamer of doom. And
that is the technical name of the weapon. It's the Super Flamer of Doom. Let me ask you a question, Robert. I just hooked up a propane furnace in my basement. Maybe or maybe not up to code, but it's got aluminum duct tape kind of like around it to help seal in. What is the difference between this orange tape and the tape that I use to seal in the ductwork, like that aluminum tape?
So from what I understand is the aluminum tape is can't withstand as much heat as the gold tape. This withstands about 500 degrees, it says, but it withstood Mixtape, so Dutch Oven has a lot more heat to his flame than Mixtape, but you know what? I made the finals. Winning's just the cherry on the top. I'm just glad to be here.
Robert, what does it feel like to know that within the next hour, you might be crowned an All-Stars champion, the best of the best?
Unbelievable. I mean, I know I had a good shot to make the bracket. I didn't think I'd get this far. Because like Kelvin is an awesome driver, Mixtape is an awesome robot. So is Chains of Kitty, who I faced in the quarterfinals. The caliber of the field for All-Stars is spectacular. So I didn't think at all that I'd get this far.
I have heard the cheers up here. Obviously, there are a lot of folks that believe in you. The camp, like I said, is kind of split. Either way, a non-traditional weapon is going home with the All-Star Championship. What's that feel like?
That's awesome. I mean, in the history of NHRL, at least in the Beatles, there's been Supreme Ruler and Crashfest. Only 2 non-kinetic energy robots to win a golden dumpster. No one's won a golden Brett yet. Hopefully one day we will. Maybe me, who knows. But this is going to be the first time we've had All-Stars in the Beetle Champ. It's going to be a non-kinetic energy, but either me or Dutch Oven. It's going to be awesome.
Robert, best of luck in the fight ahead. The young man who might have pulled the sword out of the rock himself.
The sand shovel that could. Little sand shovel that could.
The little sand shovel that could. Back to you folks at the desk.
Thanks so much, Chris. We're actually going to go straight over to Cage 2. We have a beetle weight fight for you in the 3-pound class. Who do we have, Lindsay?
We have Corey Nason with Synthesis, the absolutely devastating emulsifier-inspired beetle, against Silent Spring, one of the OG beetles, one of the most winningest robots in this game. Built by Jameson Go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Fight, robots, fight.
Let this exhibition match begin. They are here for fun. They are here for pain. Wow, Synthesis. Corey is a fearless driver. We've seen it against him and Booty Brigade. Now he's fearless against Silent Spring.
Lindsay.
But is his drive? No.
Oh.
There it goes.
Lindsay, when you hear Synthesis and Silent Spring in the arena, it feels like 30-pound robots fighting. These hits are massive. They hit you in the chest, even from 10, 15, 20 feet away.
This is the type of aggressive driving that we have come to associate with Corey when his bot is at full functionality, and here it is. The weapon may be down, but he still has his drive. Now, Ricky, on December 8th, 2018, almost exactly 5 years ago to the day, Silent Spring was our first ever Golden Dumpster winner. So that is how long this robot has been in fighting at NHRL. It actually has been fighting predating 2018. Jameson is here to prove that, hey, all these years have gone by and I am still the baddest in the game.
Yeah, Jameson has a history that almost no one can match, at least here at NHRL, both in terms of, history, but also in terms of the amount of fights that are packed into that period of time. And he just builds such monsters of machines.
So powerful, so reliable, just a pioneer of this sport, one of the most dedicated builders that there is. But right now, Synthesis able to kind of pin him despite his weapon being down. But you can see those shufflers on Silent Spring able to kind of noodle him away.
Yeah. Now, we talk about Silent Spring. This is a robot that's going to see some big changes in this coming year. This is the last time you're probably going to see Silent Spring in this exact configuration. So in a way, this is its last chance to show off, at least as it stands today.
This is one of the most glorious send-offs that he can hope for. This is a true slugfest in every sense of the word. Oh my God, look at these hits. The little dance.
Wow.
Corey taking advantage and sending him flying across the arena.
I got to say, there are very few robots that can destabilize Silent Spring, but Synthesis has been doing a fantastic job of it.
Freeing himself in the very last minute, getting Synthesis hung up on the rails. What a match! Both of these drivers taking it all in.
We'll be going to a judge's decision on that, but I got to say, I think Synthesis did a fantastic job.
I mean, you know what? Either way, no matter how it shakes out, I think that was a brilliant send-off for Silent Spring. He gave it his all. He took it to him, kept that weapon spinning the entire time, but just the level of control that Synthesis was able to exert over Silent Spring may have been the deciding factor, although the weapon did go down on Synthesis, so that is quite a bit of damage points in Silent Spring's favor.
For sure. Silent Spring is incredibly durable, and that is a huge strength they bring to the table. You can see in that first hit there was such energy. Wow, another one. Just tremendous amount of energy released.
Hitting our house bot in the face, not recommended. Our house bots sometimes don't.
No, they can get a little vengeful.
Yeah. And they do have the weight advantage.
just a scooch.
Now this was a fight for the ages. It was only an exhibition match. Obviously, Synthesis has been knocked out. Silent Spring was not in the tournament to begin with, but you would never know it. I mean, this is top-tier robot fighting.
All right, well, that was pretty incredible. For the moment, though, we're going to head up and talk to Chris. He's got the Boxels in the pit area for a little bit of side info. What can you tell us, Chris?
All right, I'm boxed by Boxels, who are about to get in the box to box. Caldera, V2, Fireball, V1. We have Brian and Glenn, family, about to go head-to-head to the death. Here's the exciting story. Both of these robots, version 1 Fireball, version 2 Caldera, this is going to be their last fight ever. Brian's coming back with an all-new fireball. Glenn's coming back with some kind of probably, I don't know, spaceship that also can fight things. Let me ask you, this is a blood battle. This is a blood feud. Who's gonna win?
I got this one. I'm taking him down.
I didn't think that was even a question. It's not going to be close.
Yeah, it's not going to be close because he's going to be scattered by parts all over the ring.
I also understand that there is a big a bet on the line. Whoever ends up taking the victory, if Glenn wins, Brian's mowing the lawn all next summer. If Brian wins, he starts getting paid to mow the lawn all next summer. So there's a lot on the line here. Either way, the last 2 times we're ever gonna see these exact bots again, there's a lot on the lawn.
Yes.
There's a lot on the lawn. All right. Well, good luck, Voxels.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. We're going to jump straight over for another fight here. Of course, you can see our countdown in the meantime, Caldera and Fireball. But yeah, we are going to go to another fight in Cage 3. We've got Monkfish going up against, I believe, Billy.
It is Billy.
We'll see. Look, Team Billy, Team Bobby meant to comment on this earlier.
Yeah, so this is something that Jonathan Clark printed. It was a 48-hour print. I wore it until my head could no longer tolerate the scratch.
Yeah, that is rough. It's not hard plastic, but
No.
That is not an article of clothing.
He had
That's
to print a lot of supports in order for it to get the shape, and some of the remnants are still in there. So
it's a little pokey. It's a
comfortable.
scalp massage is what it is. We're going to go to Cage 3. We'll get back to the hats later, folks. Cage 3, Monkfish in this lovely pink corner going against Billy in the blue.
You know what I love to see here? Jonathan Clark, builder of Billy, wearing a Monkfish shirt.
Robots fight.
Rachel, builder of Monkfish, wearing a Billy shirt.
Both of these robots fairly large in scale for the 3-pound class, and both of them very violent undercutters.
Now this is really the battle of the dead eyes.
Yeah.
It's so loud. Famously, Billy, one of the deadest-eyed sociopaths in this sport. But now Monkfish has entered the scene with a little bit more adorable eyes. But
Yeah.
still a little dead nonetheless.
Billy has dead eyes like, American Psycho, and Monkfish has dead eyes like Jaws.
And
So
yet,
it's...
they are extremely destructive in their own rights. Battle of the undercutters, battle of the eyes. The shorter that Billy becomes, the more trouble he's in, because the closer that weapon becomes to the ground.
Now, that said, it looks like Monkfish is starting to have a little drive issue. They're clearly still drivable. But Billy is no spring chicken either. That tire, especially the right side, is getting torn to shreds.
Absolutely. We're seeing some issues with the weapon. I don't know if it's because it's now resting on the floor.
Yeah, Billy is not spinning up in any case. I don't know if they have the ability to, but they certainly aren't at the moment.
Oh, those wheels have seen better days.
Yeah, that right side drive on Billy appears to be locked into the frame and he's no longer able to spin.
Monkfish is undeterred, just scurrying up to Billy.
Yeah, this doesn't phase it at all. It knows it wants full violence. It knows it needs full violence.
Neither of them, I don't think, want to kill, but they have this urge that they just can't deny.
Right, it's like there's someone inside their body piloting them to commit heinous acts.
Now that just sounds crazy, Ricky.
Hence the dead eyes. They're mere passengers on a terrible journey through life.
I cannot believe that Billy is still functional.
Oh, yeah.
Despite those wheels, despite the damage, I think he's even lost his little hat. but Monkfish is relentless. And with 15 seconds left in this match, can Billy make it to the end? I don't know.
It looks like it is just barely going to miss that cue.
Look at that celebration dance there from Monkfish. This may be going to the judges, but I don't think that there's a lot of mystery there. Jonathan just soaking it in. Now, there actually are no judges for these exhibition matches.
There's us, Lindsay. There's the crowd. There's the YouTube Pantheon. But I think what we really want to do here is talk to our spectators in person. Spectators. Lovely crowd. Would you give a round of applause for Billy?
Oh, it's a little
How
violent.
about Monkfish? I'm hearing a little bit more. Let's do it one more time. Round of applause if you think Billy won. Nothing. Round of applause if you think Monkfish won. I think that's a clear Monkfish.
It's a clear win. It's a clear win. Monkfish, amazing work, just taking down one of the kings of the sport. You know, Jonathan Clark, he comes here every year. He has Billy, he has Bobby, and every year he makes a complete and total mess in the cage.
Right.
Look how much foam is in every square inch.
I want to know where he's getting this foam. Like, what was this originally destined for? I don't think there's a factory that's just making Billy foam.
No, I think it's a secret government contractor.
I would believe.
Yeah, I don't think we know the true purpose of this foam, and we never will.
It's probably for the best. It's
closely held
secrets
secret.
that are too powerful to release. You can check out this replay. Incredible hits from both robots. I mean, a lot of power in these spinners. I think what it came down here to, Lindsay, is that Monkfish just could get much lower than Billy.
Yeah.
I think the weapon on Billy actually ended up hitting the top of the weapon on Monkfish on several occasions. And with combat robots, it's oftentimes a fight to the bottom. Whoever can get underneath of their opponent best is the opponent that wins. It's not the strategy that Monkfish and Billy usually go for.
No.
But when it comes down to like versus like, sometimes that's what happens. In the meantime, we are going to go to Cage 2. Caldera versus Fireball. This is the Boxel Brawl that we warned you about earlier.
This is the battle for the lawns. It's about to happen right here. Now, normally when we see, you know, a father and a son or families fight together, it's wholesome, it's cute, they're collaborating. In this case, the trash talk is off the charts.
Yeah, it's elevated to, like, new heights. I wonder how that ride home's going to be.
A lot of silence.
Yep.
Angry peering.
Winner gets to pick the music. Looks like, just for good measure, we've thrown a couple extra bouncy balls into the arena. They've also given me a bouncy ball at the desk, which was a terrible mistake, but I'm not going to tell them no.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Fight, robots, fight.
Oh, that classic box rush from Fireball, but he just missed. But here he is, bringing the pain to his poor old father. Poor dear father, I should say. Caldera not afraid to go head-to-head with Fireball, and the same can be said for Fireball. They're just here for a good old-fashioned brawl.
No, they're just slugging it out. I mean, not everyone has one of these arenas in their garage. You got to take your opportunities where you have them.
Now, do you think Brian is trying to let off some steam from like all the years of being told to clean his room by his dad?
I would hope so. This is the best time to get it out. How often are you going to be able to just like really beat up on your dad without, you know, having the police called?
And you know what? The same goes true in reverse.
Yeah, I mean, maybe even more so.
Wow, those are some incredible hits we're seeing from Caldera on Fireball now that he's up on its head, exactly where Glenn wants him.
Yeah, we got a real dad versus the volcano kind of situation here.
taunting his father. Just the sounds coming off of these hits, incredible. We've got about a minute and a little bit less than a minute and a half here. Brian is negotiating some unsticks with the house bot drivers. He is looking in rough shape, I have to say it, but now he's finally on his head. Oh, Glenn with the hit on the bouncy ball. Fireball just wasn't enough. He has to go for the bouncy ball too. Really making a game out of this. Now Fireball, this is V1. This is the first year that it's been in the competition, but Caldera has been here year after year. It is a perennial contender. Glenn never takes an event off, and to be fair, neither does Brian. They are here all the time.
They are making the absolute most of the wonderful, service that Norwalk provides to the community. NHRL provides to the community. There are few competitors here who are more consistent in the energy, attention, and skill that they bring to the arena as the Boxels.
Now, in any regular scenario, I think Fireball would have tapped out by now, but with 5 seconds left, Caldera is doing its victory lap around the corner. Can it hit that bouncy ball one more time? Come on, let's go.
Lindsay, the message I'm taking away from this is bouncy balls are pretty great armor.
I think that we should have one bouncy ball in every arena for the rest of 2024.
Bot Soccer 2024, that's what I'm hearing. I just cannot stop bouncing this Super Ball that they gave me.
My ADHD is very jealous because I would be doing the
You
same
have a
thing.
hat, Lindsay. You have a big plastic, weird, flexy hat.
So itchy.
You don't have to wear it. You can fan it. You can bend. You know what? Anyway, we're going to go to the replays here.
Man, I think that Brian is he's going to have a long summer ahead of cutting those lawns because this was very decisive. Glenn, relentless. Probably replaying, years of like little kid tantrums, trying to let out some steam. I don't know. But he deserved it.
Ladies and gentlemen and everyone else, we will go, normally we would go to the judges here, but instead we will be going to the YouTube polls, the most scientific of all judging assessments, and I am told that we have a overwhelming victory for the father in this case.
Yes, I'm looking in the YouTube chat right now. 85% have said that Glenn has won.
Congratulations, Glenn. That's a lot of free lawn mowing services.
Yeah, that was a smart bet on his behalf. And we're going to go to cage 1 now because we've got another fight.
Oh, my. This is quite a matchup.
We have some of the most unconventional robots in the competition. Lil Rip with a mini bot knife and huge. Jonathan Schultz obviously has pioneered this overhead spinning robot that you've known and loved for so many years. Anna Zolnikov here with Lil Rip, which made such a splash over the last few. And man, I'm so happy to see a knife in the arena. Every time I see a knife in the arena,
Lindsay,
Angel gets its wings.
You're worrying me. Those aren't the things that normal people say.
I think I've been here a little bit too long, Brittany. Please help me.
Well-adjusted people don't want to see knives in arenas. It's not Thunderdome.
Now I'm seeing limited mobility from Lil Rip. I wonder if there was still lasting damage from that entanglement in the airbag.
I mean, Lil Rip, I believe, is, certainly they've been worked on, but they're sharing a lot of parts that they had to work with in finals. That robot, I think, is a little bit tired. So
I would be too. However, Relation, which is the Peter Bar bot that Johnny is driving, it's trying to hold its own. It's had 3 full days of also getting beat on by 30-pound robots.
And yet here it is.
And yet here it is. Huge! You're going after Flo! He turned off Flo!
That is incredible, folks. Jonathan Schultz has won $1,000. He has turned off the house bot using his weapon. I didn't even know that was possible.
I never thought that was something Jonathan would try to even do.
There are, I think that's chunks. Oh, there's bread on top of that robot, too. I think there's chunk of a switch on top of the house bot. Like, not only was the switch turned, it was, you know, smashed to pieces.
Jonathan, as per NHRL rules, if you turn off the house bot, you win and are entitled to $1,000.
Congratulations. Oh. My. The in-house ruling committee has been summoned. There is a question as to whether or not an exhibition fight is eligible for the $1,000 prize.
Wow. Now, this is a new development. This is obviously uncharted territory, undiscovered waters here. Our exhibition matches held to the same rule set as regular matches. We don't know at this
to an
moment.
extent, we know that they are not. We've seen things earlier in the day that are not normally considered part of the rule set.
But, Ricky, here I see none other than Chris Moran. Handing you personally $1,000. Congratulations,
Well,
Ricky.
thank you. Yeah, I'm going to leave now. You all can go home.
Nice job.
No, I think that this is about as... Oh, this money...
Oh, okay, we are premature again.
Interesting. So for the moment, I can start collecting interest on this because this money has not yet been confirmed as destined. You know, normally they give me stage money. This is real money. This is actually $1,000. We're going to go to the replay and see what happened here, okay?
Ricky, if I were you, I'll take over the commentary on this and you get out of the building with that cash.
Yeah, I've hit the road.
It does fit on the desk.
Here it comes. Here's the moment. This is the moment of switchdom. And there it is. There it is. Oh, I see. It was the spinning. It looks like it was the spinning of the wheel combined with the weapon. It was a little bit of a wombo combo. Congratulations. Well, congratulations on switching the robot. We're still waiting on official word as to whether or not this crisp pile of $10, $100 bills, which hopefully they don't zoom in on the serial numbers, because again, this is real money.
That is real cash.
At least it's very impressive fakery.
This is an incredibly exciting moment.
Look at the smile, and then the sheer glee that comes upon the face of Jonathan Schultz.
The Durfler brothers going ecstatic.
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying all that much attention, Lindsay. I had other things going on.
Hey.
Oh! Well, look who it is! Welcome aboard, Jonathan Schultz. Hello.
I've been waiting to do that.
Can you
for like a year?
Can you walk us through what happened there?
Well, yeah, in the fight. Well, I wanted to fight. I wanted to fight Ripperoni. I apparently knocked them out really quick, I guess. Bad luck. And we're like, well, how do we make the most of a bad situation? About like a year or two ago, Brett backed into huge ones and didn't hit the switch, but I had an idea. And I started in the back of my head, and I said, I think I can get around it. And then it was either Joe or Don, someone in my ear was like, get the switch. And, and off I went, and I feel like I won my own tournament today. I'm happy.
In a way, you kind of did.
Yeah. You won better than the tournament.
I hope so. I see a tiny mammoth.
Yeah, it's a tiny mammoth with $1,000 in it. And the trouble right now is that we're still waiting on word as to whether or not this is officially your money, or if it stays, in the house.
Can I have it in the meantime?
You can get it really close. Oh,
hold
John,
on.
you cannot have it in the meantime.
But can I hold it up?
Despite it being an exhibition, the rules committee has said this is in fact your dollar.
Yeah!
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
That is a ruling pass down from Ryan Saslow, co-founder of NHRL. That is
My
your
first
money.
fight at NHRL 5 years ago at the very first NHRL was Ryan Saslow. So thank you, Saslow.
He didn't remember that. It's good that you're telling him now and not then. But
well, I beat him, so good.
Right.
Watch out, though. Ryan Saslow, he may ask for about $500 of that when he runs into you in the parking lot when he leaves tonight.
He's an intimidating man. Just leave quickly.
Well, cool. Thank you very
Congratulations.
much.
Congratulations, Jonathan. Way to go.
I don't think a spinner robot has ever done that before.
Only the one that landed on it.
Right.
So never intentionally.
Intentionally, yeah.
Right there.
Two
$1,000
members now of Team Huge. You and
Brendan
Steele.
So I got to get Don and Joe. We got to get on it.
We got to get the tipplers in this.
Milk that money till it runs out. We're going to go to
Absolutely.
Sam in the pits. Sam is pit side. What do you have for us, Sam?
What's up, Ricky? Yes, I am in the pits with Emily, the engineer, who I would say you pretty much won that fight with Booster and the AIRic. And Emily, can you talk me through the process of taking the AIRic from the crash course and turning it into End Me 3?
Oh, well, we took AIRic, and then we took his motors, and then we took in Ender 3 and strapped the motors to the Ender 3 in the simplest of terms, and then a lot of other complicated stuff that I had to learn how to do because I don't know how to do. RC stuff is new to me, so but yeah, we took the motors and strapped them on there, I guess.
And you had a pretty gnarly weapon. That bed was slinging knives. What was the inspiration for that?
I don't know if there was an inspiration. We talked about things that could hurt someone else that we could strap to an Ender 3, and I don't know why, but knives was unfortunately the first thing that came to mind.
And were you expecting one to stick into the cage wall like it did?
No, that was the coolest thing ever. And it wasn't even just like barely there. Like I actually had to tug to like pull it out. It was pretty cool.
Well, it was beautiful, and thank you so much for taking the AIRic and turning it into something that was just incredibly you. So we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, on my left, I have Peter Sreeple, and Peter, you built AIRic. Yeah.
Why you're looking at me? I only lasted 10 seconds and then had to punch out into the wall.
However, 10 seconds or not, you were the first plane to be in a NHRL battle in the cage.
Probably the last, because it makes 0 sense to fly an airplane in that cage. That plane did not fly very well either, so that was like the second time I got to fly it. I flew it once inside the place where we built it, and that was it.
Well, do you think if you had more time to design a plane, you could figure out a way to make a plane work in the cage?
If I had more practice to fly in the cage, yeah, I could probably do it. That thing was just thrown together. It was like literally finished like an hour ago before our fight.
Well, it came together beautifully. First plane ever to fly in the cage. I'm looking forward to the one you build next, and...
No, Emily is the real star of the show here. Her knife through the acrylic was probably the best thing that I've seen all night. So.
Well, I might have to agree, but thank you so much, Peter. It was beautiful. Thank you for turning the AIRic into something that is you, and back to y'all in the pits.
Hey, thanks so much, Sam. We are actually going to go straight to another fight. We have Silent Spring apparently ready to go again, going up against Droopy. So this is a match of incredibly heavy hitters. And cage side, I'm seeing, there it is.
How sweet. They love each other. It's T Swift, I'm being told.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe.
I'm not
Could
a
be.
Swiftie, Ricky.
I'm
I'm
not.
sorry.
Listen, I love a love story as much as anybody else, but it goes a little off the rails at a certain point.
I love that Jameson said, hey, you know what? That match with Synthesis was absolutely unhinged. It was crazy. Let me now get into the cage with the most destructive robot perhaps ever in the competition, Droopy, proudly showing off its butt in the air there. And it looks like we're going to go with extra bouncy balls this time just for some added fun.
Extra bouncy or extra balls or extra bouncy balls?
All of the above.
Extra bouncy, extra balls.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
They're scientifically proven to be extra bouncy.
I remember seeing this advertisement once about like the level of bounce instilled in certain bouncy balls being like scientifically optimized. And now you just buy whatever bouncy ball they've got at the supermarket. There's really no honor amongst the bouncy ball franchises, and I kind of want to see that come back.
Now, it wouldn't surprise me, Ricky, to learn that you are a bouncy ball enthusiast.
I spent a while delving into the chemistry as a kid of bouncy balls and trying to make my own better ones. I didn't get that far, but I still have a weird recipe somewhere or another I can dig.
Now, it looks like Droopy is starting. Could that be upside down?
I mean, Droopy does that sometimes. There are certain times when,
there we
Droopy
go.
being inverted is the best option, and Silent Spring is one of those robots where it could well be.
4.
That said, if I wanted to kick bouncy balls around the arena and I was Droopy, I'd also start with
So. Absolutely. Now, let the chaos begin. Droopy inching itself towards these bouncy balls and towards Silent Spring.
Now,
as long as those weapons are moving, it is moving as well.
Droopy, one go. Wow!
Wow, big hit there. Now, Silent Spring appears to be having more fun with the bouncy balls than it is with Droopy. Kind of just content to let Droopy chase it. I don't blame him. There we go, bringing some pain over to Droopy and its poor little butt. I'm hearing a lot of shouting cage side. Now, both of these robots do have an added weight advantage because they both use non-traditional locomotion. Silent Spring has a little shuffler pods, while Droopy, its weapons are its movement. It uses the gyro and the Force Servant's weapons to inch itself forward. Big, incredible hits, but Silent Spring is unfazed. It's going in for hit after hit after hit. Jameson leaving it all on the ground. A huge hit into the Lexan there. It looks like now part of Droopy's weapon is lodged inside of Silent Spring.
Yeah, Silent Spring uses some pretty squishy armor on the side of the robot in this configuration, and that makes a great target for just, absorbing some of these impactors that you see on horizontal spinners.
It's suddenly
it's
very quiet.
We're going to a pause the match.
It's paused.
Yes, we have to see if we can free these two robots. They're entangled in one another.
So right now the house bot is going to try and do it because whenever possible, try and get the robot to do it and not a human's actual hands. There are safe ways for humans to do it, but why risk it?
Yeah. That's what the house bots are here for, at least in part.
Brett, our OG house bot, fighting two of our OG robots here. I mean, Droopy has been competing here, I think, almost as long as Silent Spring.
Certainly a veteran, I'm sure of that. It's actually interesting. The bouncy balls are kind of a cushion against the wall right now.
Some unexpected chaos in new ways from these bouncy balls.
Yeah, I mean, in the corner there, you've got Droopy along with, these super balls. It's the bouncy brigade. All right, the fight remains paused, but they are now freed up. We can resume in just a couple of minutes.
Tommy Wong ready. Jameson go ready. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Both bots looking perfectly fine. Oh, has it happened again? Droopy, no!
Oh my
Droopy.
goodness.
Tommy, what are you doing?
It's funny, those are not sharp weapon tips as robots go. These are very blunt weapons. They're meant to give big hits. Wow,
he's
free.
Oh,
And
he's
those
hit the
balls
bouncy
go
balls. It's
flying.
chaos.
Oh, chunks coming off of the top of Silent Spring.
This is just a brawl for the ages. And that's the match. Droopy.
Oh, and it appears that Silent Spring was high-centered there at the end of the match.
Ah.
My.
You
Strong
heard that.
words from Jamison Go, cage side. Tommy looks suspiciously pleased with that.
I think that might have been his plan all along.
I think so. Well, ladies and gentlemen, again, as an exhibition match, we will not be going to the judges, but I think the crowd can join me in a congratulatory cheer for Droopy. I think we're right. I think we've got that right.
That feels right.
Well,
I gotta catch
for an
my
exhibition,
breath.
that is a high-level exhibition fight.
That is something that you would be happy to see at like the championship fight of a regular tournament. And yet here we're having it just for fun.
You know, speaking of championship finals, we're going to be very soon starting our 2024 season, working our way there. And we would love for you all to join us along the way. So please take a moment to like, subscribe. You'll get all of the latest YouTube feeds. Check us out on YouTube. Check out our Discord. You can, become a part of the action or, just come along for the ride.
We're on Instagram.
That's
We've got
true.
Reels. We're on TikTok.
I'm not even sure what a TikTok is, but we're there, I'm told.
I'm
What
sure
else?
there's let's see, we're on MySpace.
Dig?
We're on Dig.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all over Dig.
If you ask Jeeves about us tonight, you ask your parents to ask you about asking Jeeves, you will find nothing but the finest NHRL content.
Just don't Bing us because
That's just
Bing
weird.
is lame. Yeah.
We're going to head over now. We are preparing very imminently for our finals. 3 pounds, 12 pounds, and now the 30-pound final. This is the bracket we have for you. Red Storm, the control bot of Kevin Mikowski, going up against Vorion, the nasty vertical spinner of Brandon Bennett Young.
I mean, two completely different robots, two approaches. This could be anyone's game. After the shape Vorion was in their last match against Knockoff White, I would think, they're in rough shape. However, they have a completely untouched spare robot.
Yeah, as you get to this level of competition, and again, this is All-Stars, so some of the best builders around. When you get here, most people are not showing up with one robot. They are showing up with duplicates, spare parts, like coming out of their ears. They are ready to bring it. They're ready to spend the time to make sure everything is dialed in and give the absolute best performances they possibly can.
Ricky, we have a competitor going wild in the stands right now. Tommy Wong has gone completely unhinged. He's now throwing bouncy balls at paid spectators.
Yeah.
People who have paid money to be here are now being thrown bouncy balls at.
That's assault, Tommy.
I think
it's or battery. It's battery. It's battery.
It's bouncery.
It's a different kind of battery than we usually have here in the House of Havoc, but we can deal with it. These aren't light either.
No, they're
They're
serious.
substantial. They're dense. But anyway. Thank you for joining us here tonight. Wherever you are in the world, we hope you are having a wonderful time. We are certainly having a wonderful time here, and we are glad that you can join us in person or otherwise. Again, we are coming up on our finals. 30-pound class will be first, and then we will be moving our way into the 12 and 3-pound world. As it is right now, we have Red Storm entering the arena. Let's cut to that.
This is extremely exciting. This is for the championship match. Winner of this match goes home with the prize, goes home with the platinum trophy, the platinum dumpster. Kevin is psyched. He's ready to go. Warm up those hands, Kevin. You're gonna need them.
Up next, entering the arena, we have Vorion, piloted by Brandon Bennett Young.
Yeah, Brandon. Here representing the state of Maryland. Soak it in. Soak it in. You deserve it. A team of one out here today doing the unthinkable. Brandon is here every single tournament, grinding away, perfecting his robots. I mean, both of these competitors, I think, have been at almost every NHRL in 2023. These are some of the most hardworking builders here today.
Absolutely. They are absolutely bringing it. We're going to go to the tail of the tape, folks. Man, we have Red Storm with its powerful lifting arm. That robot, don't let that number fool you. 90-pound deadlift. It can actually move a couple of 100 pounds at the right angle. But, however, it has never been able to lift Vorion to a victory. On the other hand, Brandon Bennett Young with its terrifying Vorion has a vertical disc with 2 inches of reach, 238 mile an hour tip speed, and a head-to-head win in the past against Red Storm. So, mild favorite there perhaps, but it is certainly anyone's game.
Anyone's game here today. Now, Ricky, you are very intimately involved with a lot of the safety protocols. What is the maximum tip speed? Do we have one at NHRL?
We do not have a specific maximum tip speed. What we have is a soft limit. We are allowed to go up to 300 miles an hour, which is what we've determined kind of across the board our arenas are able to handle. And then once you want to go beyond that, it's up to you to work with us to prove that your robot is safe to fight in the arena. So if you are spinning a very small weight at 305 miles an hour, that's probably fine. If you're spinning your entire 55-pound robot that uses all of the weight allowances at 305 miles an hour, it might not be okay. So we work with it on a case-by-case basis. One of our priorities here at NHRL is to make sure that we allow as much creativity and as many designs that push the limits as possible, and that is the spirit of being as flexible as possible with safety, as long as we don't compromise the safety of, our spectators, our arenas. Well, the arenas we can deal with. We don't mind arena damage. We're willing to deal with it, but...
Well, here we go. This is the match for the 30-pound bracket. This determines all the marbles. Red Storm right out of the gate. Oh, Vorion also had some success getting under Red Storm there, but wow, huge hit.
It only takes a couple of hits like that for Brandon to do a death stroke on Red Storm. He's got 2 hits in. Can he get 2 or 3 more?
That's the thing with a nasty vertical spinner like that. It only sometimes takes a couple hits for your bot to get wrecked. This is a sparring match if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, very, very tactical driving. As good of a driver as Kevin is, Brandon is incredibly tactical. He's going to play to his own strengths, and that's what you see here. He's not really trying to outmaneuver Red Storm. He's just trying to not give up any ground.
And he has them here in his clutches. The reach of that weapon, not quite enough to get on those forks.
Oh, that is a huge hit, Lindsay. That is a tremendous over and over. What a combo.
The enthusiasm I'm hearing from the crowd is infectious.
Oh, I see some drive issues are starting to mount on Red Storm. The damage is starting to add up.
Red Storm trying to suplex, but Vorion just able to get an angle where it can't really reach it. Now leaving it on the rail, kind of just to fester on its own.
Yeah, it's working its best. You can see a wheel is missing from Red Storm, laying on the ground.
It's still very mobile, and as long as it's mobile, it's dangerous. But Vorion already being able to add some incredible damage onto Red Storm.
This is very impressive, folks.
Red Storm has not been able to land
Oh my, Lindsay.
Ricky, what's happening here?
Vorion has stopped moving.
Oh, thank goodness it is on its merry way. You never want to see a fight end because of a reason like that.
No, but
here we get that suplex.
Red Storm's revenge has come into play, and the weapon is now down on Vorion. Oh, I spoke too soon. It's spinning back up. Those are intermittent issues you're seeing on Vorion. That robot needs to win and win quickly, or it may be down for the count.
It looks like in this last 30 seconds or so, Red Storm has kind of changed the tide here. It's very quiet now with only 7 seconds left. Vorion needs to demonstrate that it's still running.
Yeah, it appears to be, but it is definitely intermittent.
Ricky, that was a match that went back and forth.
I mean, let's be honest. I think that match for the bulk of the match was very firmly in Vorion's clutches. But at the end, Kevin really clawed a lot of that back.
Yep.
And who wins in this is going to be down to the judges, and it is not going to be an easy decision. I mean, certainly for the balance of the match, Vorion had a lot to show for it. But those kind of big issues, intermittent drive, intermittent weapon,
I mean, there was a lot of visible damage on Red Storm. We saw that a wheel was completely removed. However, it did appear to be largely functional the entire time.
Yes.
Vorion at the very end showing some reliability issues. I don't know how that will come into play. All right, now looking at this replay here. Some big hits right out of the gate from Vorion on the underbelly of Red Storm.
Real close there, Lindsay. I understand.
Those claws of Red Storm.
Right, those claws of Red Storm. No, these are huge hits, though, that are delivered over and over again to Vorion. But to Red Storm's credit, they, as you said, they did not disable any system.
No.
Temporarily, some drive issues, to be sure. Don't forget that wheel came off of Red Storm. That is some, definite damage.
Despite that, I will say there was a poll in the YouTube chat. 71% of people think that Vorion won that match.
Well, we will see. I think it's going to be a little closer to that in the judges. My personal preference, I think that is the case. I think the crowd is right with this one, I think it is going to be razor thin on the points.
Now, the last time that Brandon won a Golden Dumpster, he displayed an incredible amount of emotion, something that became an instantly iconic moment in NHRL history. I don't know how he'll feel if he takes home a win at an event like All-Stars.
Yeah, it's a very different vibe. I know Brandon is not going to sit back and be satisfied with a win at All-Stars. He's going to keep going.
Oh, yeah.
For those Bretts, for those dumpsters. But this is a whole different kind of victory, and it's the kind of thing that, thus far, I mean, this is the one and only. To be the only holder of the 30-pound platinum dumpster, to be the first holder of the 30-pound dumpster, the first and only holder of the 30-pound dumpster. That is
highly coveted item.
Yeah. You don't have a platinum dumpster.
I have a platinum anything. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's a good point.
I don't know what else would be
I have
platinum,
a platinum catalytic converter. That's it.
Oh, I have something to tell you, Ricky. It has been stolen in the parking lot.
Oh, dear.
So it's gone.
Well, folks, if you need me, I'll be outside with a welder. Now, let's review here. The judges are going through a lot. Again, we mentioned earlier, we're doing a functionality test that has already occurred. Cage side, they went through, saw what worked, what didn't. So the judges are going to sit down. They're going to compare the damage caused by each robot against their opponent. They're going to look at the aggression throughout the match, how hard the other robot was coming at them, and whether or not they were using their weapon to do so, and then the control. Who was able to dictate the pacing and the direction of the match. They're going to weigh all those things very carefully using our rubric, and they're going to come up with a judgment. All three of the judgments are going to come up with it, and it's a majority rule. It could be unanimous. It could be 2 versus 1. Either way, we will have 3 judgments very shortly. Interesting.
I'm being told that both bots proved to the judges that they were fully functional at the end of that match. So any functionality issues that we were speculating on Vorion, he has put that to rest. Vorion was in full function, as was Red Storm.
We are very close to the judge's
Ricky.
decision. I hear those judge's decision noises coming in. Here it is on screen. Your winner in the 30-pound class, Vorion across the board. 10, 12, and 12. A unanimous judge's decision and not particularly close. In fact, I'll say the crowd on YouTube about dead on.
What a special moment here.
Brandon pleased as punch.
I think he even looked a little bit surprised.
Yeah, that is incredible.
Was
I
close.
cannot wait to go cage side, but that is fantastic.
I mean, that was close. If I were him, I think I would have been a little nervous, but I think that was the correct judge's decision. That felt spot on. Well done to the judges. And so exciting for Brandon, who now this year took home his first golden dumpster. And now Ricky is taking home a platinum dumpster.
The first platinum dumpster, the only platinum dumpster. Brandon is going home with it. Well earned. Congratulations, Brandon. Well done. Come back and do it again.
Chris has Brandon here. Let's hear from the man himself.
Brandon Bennett Young, 30-pound All-Star! Congratulations!
Thank you very much.
Tell us about the day. Tell us about the event. How did you pull it off?
So the key is that I made a lot of spares for Vorion. I knew he was going to get beaten up. I have really good robots I have to fight. When I saw my bracket, I thought, well, that's over. And so I got a little further in the day, and I sort of thought, okay, there's a chance. I sort of was able to get over huge, to knock off wide, and I thought, okay, now there's a really good chance. And with Kevin, I was even more scared because he's been improving all year long. I'm terrified that he would have gotten me last time, but he did it.
Things got a little dicey there at the end. We didn't know which way it was going to go. He was going to start playing the grappling game, but you actually outdrove the 2023 Driver of the Year. How did you do that?
Well, the answer is very simple. Physics. So the whole time I was driving with Vorion, I kept the power down because I have a lot more power to go. But I knew if I got too loose, he would get me. So I made it a control match. And if it's a control match and I can hit him really hard, that'll do it.
Brandon Bennett Young, you are an all-star. Vorion, you are an all-star. Let's hear it for Brandon.
Thank you, Chris. That is incredible. What joy on Brandon's face.
It's infectious. I feel a little emotional myself.
I do. And I mean, absolutely well earned. Brandon, the first NHRL All-Star. The first NHRL All-Star Platinum Dumpster winner. Fantastic.
And Chris reminded us of something so important. He just beat the 2023 Best Driver of the Year. Kevin just won that award a couple weeks ago. And he outdrove him. He outplayed him. Vorion was able to do something that I think maybe not a lot of people expected it to do.
No. And for that win, Brandon will be taking home $2,000 in cash. Kevin, of course, as second place, not going home empty-handed. He will have $1,000 to take along with him. Some other consolation prizes for some of our other competitors, but $2,000 in his pocket, ready to go, and of course a standing invitation to come back and work his way to the championship in the future.
That feels good. So now Brandon has a golden dumpster. He's got a platinum dumpster. He wants that golden Brett next year.
We're going to head over to the 12-pound category now. We got a lot more fights. Well, really, we just have one more fight in the 12-pound class. your final two robots, Sombra, 12 pounds, the absolute terror out of Brazil, going up against Cthulhu, the pride of Ohio. This is a nasty vertical spinner going up against a very powerful horizontal spinner. Anything could happen, but we know there's going to be a lot of destruction and a lot of damage.
Geopolitical situation here, as we know, Ohio and Brazil,
arch
perennial rivals.
Yes.
And so this is going to have implications that really ripple throughout the planet.
I am getting word now, Lindsay, that Cthulhu has entered the arena.
Cthulhu?
I think we are going to head over there.
Let's see. What's
What
Corey got for
Lovecraftian
us?
horrors await?
The Coakley brothers sharing this special moment here, getting the crowd amped. A lot of focus and determination here on Corey's face with his special All-Stars themed Cthulhu this time.
In the meantime, here comes Sombra. See if we've got a wild Brazilian entrance. No, they are calm, cool, collected, excited to be here. Thankful for the opportunity. I gotta say, every Brazilian team we have had here has just been so gracious, so kind, and so excited to be a part of this. It's always a delight.
We absolutely love it every single time a Brazilian team comes here to compete. I'm looking in the YouTube chat right now. It is just a sea of Brazilian flags. There are so many Brazilian fans watching right now, cheering on their hometown team here in Sombra.
Yeah, absolutely dramatic amount of Portuguese going on. Going to the tail of the type, Tomás with his nasty vertical spinner. That is a tri-bar twisted beater that spins at 230 miles an hour. Going up against Corey and his horizontal bar spinner spinning at 225. Now the real difference here is that reach. You've got an inch and a quarter on Sombra and 5 inches on Cthulhu. Wow. If he can take advantage of that, he's going to be able to get a lot more hits in. If he can't, I bet he's going to get roof shotted.
I cannot wait to see which way it goes here. It really feels like it could go either way.
Both of these are incredible competitors. Both of them have a very good chance. Doors are closing, so we aren't going to have to wait very much longer to find out. It is so rare to see such a meta robot, such a dialed-in robot as Sombra with such a unique design feature as the tri-bar spinner. That is, I don't think we have anyone else in the 12-pound class that runs that configuration.
I have to imagine just the not simple act of machining that weapon is very difficult.
Yeah, that is an expensive and time-taking procedure to either do yourself or to send out for someone else to do. So that alone is a high bar to cross.
Yeah.
And then to understand how best to implement it when it hasn't been done very often, that's a whole nother hurdle. So the fact that they have hit this level of competition with a unique design like that really says a lot.
And here we go. We are about to start this match.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Fight, robots, fight.
This is for the championship here. Cthulhu taking out the mini bot, or at least trying to.
The stability on Sombra is incredible. For Cthulhu to be able to hit like that and it doesn't go flying is incredible.
It is something that I have seen the team behind AGVS be obsessive about, is how to dial in the weapon while still maintaining.
Look at this, Lindsay. That robot is pinned on the mini-bot like a ball on a tee.
It looks like a weapon side, or a drive side is down, but that's still able to hit, make those big hits. Sombra trying to evade some mini-bots, just go right towards the main prize there in Cthulhu.
Yeah,
sending the mini-bot flying.
That front wedge on Sombra is so effective at deflecting Cthulhu's weapon. Woo! Now Cthulhu needs to take advantage of this. With Sombra upside down, they are easy pickings.
Even while upside down, though, that weapon is spinning, so it's still a danger.
Oh my.
Wow.
Huge pieces of armor coming off of Sombra.
This is a brawl, Ricky. Cthulhu going flying. Sombra has a piece of its side just flapping in the wind. That wedge on Sombra making incredible work of Cthulhu.
Yeah, even upside down, I am so impressed with how Sombra is able to maintain itself in this match. It does, however, really want to revert to its normal side up.
Let's be real. We have 1 minute left in this brawl.
Oh, the weapon has stopped momentarily, perhaps, but stopped nonetheless on Sombra.
And that is not what Sombra wants to see here, because it needs that weapon to be a contender in this match.
This is very close. Less than a minute remaining.
Well, it now looks like there is some issue with Cthulhu's weapon.
Yeah, Cthulhu's weapon has is no longer energized.
And may have a little bit of spin, but not like what we've seen before.
Now that said, Sombra being inverted is going to make it very difficult for them to control the match. This is incredible. There have been no knockouts in any of our brackets so far.
That tells you the level of competition here, and with 6 seconds left, we're holding true. This is going to the
weapon
judges.
is starting to spin back up on Cthulhu.
Right when they needed it to.
Oh, but is the drive down on the right-hand side? No, it's not.
No.
The robot appears to be fully... Oh, was that a moment of spinning?
It looked like that was spinning, but this match is over.
This match is over. I'm sure we will do a functionality test.
Yes, 100%.
But wow, that is a heck of a turn of pace. Sombra so dominant for the first 2 minutes and 10 seconds, and then when it became inverted and that weapon went down, it was a completely different game.
It became almost a sitting duck. It tried its best to spin, to be able to kind of deflect those biggest hits from Cthulhu. It did actually do a good job of that. We don't know yet if that weapon is completely offline or not. It appears that the weapon on Cthulhu is just fine.
Yep, we'll see. They may end up flipping Sombra upside down to see if the weapon can spin. That may be part of it. I don't know if they will do that or not. It looks to me, though, Lindsay, look at the right-hand side, well, what appears to be the right-hand side right now of Sombra. That aluminum looks pretty gouged up. That might be the end of the spinner.
All right, I'm looking at the YouTube poll right now. And with 68% of the votes, the crowd has named Cthulhu the winner.
We will find out in a minute as not only a bracket fight, but of course our championship fight in the 12-pound division. This is going to go to the judges, and the judges have their work cut out for them.
They've had their work cut out for them this entire night without any knockouts.
They are earning their keep, Lindsay.
So I mean, pay them the big bucks. Now, if you look at Sombra here versus Sombra at the end of this match, it almost looks like a completely different robot.
Yeah.
It took so much damage in the latter half of the bout.
And remained inverted for, a substantial part of the test. It does look like they flipped it over to do the functionality test. It looks like right-hand drive. Oh, the weapon does work!
Is working!
What a surprise! I did not expect to see that. Both drive sides appear to work some, but certainly not great on the left-hand drive. Now, whether it was working when the fight hit 0, it's going to come into play.
It will.
But it might not come into play as much. It's a little less damage to say it was permanently disabled. A little more damage to say it was permanently disabled than say temporarily disabled. So it's anybody's guess. how that's
if
going
you're
to
Tomas right now and the second you see that weapon spin up, you're breathing a sigh of relief.
Absolutely a sigh of relief, yeah. No, I mean, without that weapon spinning up, I frankly don't think Sombra had any chance of winning the judge's decision.
Right.
With it spinning, this now enters the realm of possibility of going in either direction.
This is a really tough one. I mean, it did look like either there were some drive side issues, maybe those wheels were pinched because of those side rails kind of coming undone. We don't really know what the drive issue was there. That could be a factor. I do know that some of those mini bots also took a lot of damage. I don't think it'll be the decisive factor here, but it's something that the judges are going to consider.
Yeah, for sure.
And this, to reiterate, this is for the championship. This is for the platinum dumpster. This is for the $2,000. This is something that you want to win. You want to be able to say that you won the inaugural NHRL All-Stars event.
So this is a little different. A lot of times here at NHRL, we have equitable, I shouldn't say equitable, we have the same prizes across all the weight classes. Here at All-Stars, we are scaling a little bit as you go down the weight classes. You go down the dollar amount a little bit, essentially because the robots in the larger weight classes are more expensive to build. So
that makes sense.
The winner here will be, so second place here will be going home with $800, and the winner will be going home with twice that much, $1,600 as a prize for this match alone. Everyone in the competition is leaving with a prize from the prize fund. Everyone is being compensated. Their trips are being subsidized, et cetera, et cetera. So this money isn't just, oh, I hope I can pay for my robot being here. This is, at least in theory, gravy on top. This is true, real prize money that you get to say, I went home with, I earned this, and now I get to enjoy it.
Absolutely, and that is something that's very special about this particular All-Stars event.
Judging is nearing completion. I heard we've had a couple of the decisions have been rendered. We're waiting on one last one.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
We're going to find out here in just a moment. I haven't heard those sound effects in the background quite yet.
The competitors here.
Oh, there it is. I heard the noise.
And we're about to find out.
The judges have decided. The judges' decisions are in. We are just waiting on them being delivered to us here at the desk.
Taking its sweet time, showing up on screen.
This is just in. Coming up on screen in just a second. Your winner is Cthulhu across the board. 13, 12, and 11. The Brazilians again walking home without that first place win, and Cthulhu taking home that platinum dumpster for the grand state of Ohio.
I saw Corey let out the biggest sigh, like he had been holding his
hands are
breath.
shaking. Like, this is nuts.
And there's that excitement. Oh, wow. I think that he was as nervous as the rest of us were.
Yeah.
Not sure how that was going to end. At the end, when Sombra's weapon turned up, it was anyone's game.
Right.
But Cthulhu took that home decisively. It wasn't even, honestly, that close.
It wasn't that close in points, but that doesn't necessarily mean that close in terms of how the match went.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, that was just, it was a nonstop for all.
Yeah.
And Cthulhu wins. And now we're going to get to hear from Corey and his team of brothers. I love to see it.
Here we go. Chris, what do you got for us?
Corey, you're an all-star! Cthulhu is an all-star! The Kunglis are all-stars!
Happy beyond words, man. Us coming here as a trio, seriously, I'm speechless. I cannot be any happier. Monumental to have him and us as a team. Oh my, it's so amazing. Seriously, no words to describe. I'm so happy. You cannot.
Tell me, Corey, what was going through your brain as you were waiting for the judges to essentially announce that you are an all-star champion?
You know, it was like, either I'm going to get a better dumpster award than he is, or I'm going to be stuck in second place. And oh man, it was such a spectacular fight. It was so brutal, and both bots survived. It was insane. Really, kudos that they did such a great job. It was so close.
Yeah, like in that last 45 seconds, we thought that Sombra's weapon's down. We thought Cthulhu's weapon's down. And then it looks like you both somehow resurrected this. What was that like?
You rewatch the fight, my battery was getting low because my light was going down. It was dying, and I told him to shut the weapon off because that fight went on any further, we would have been in big trouble. But hey, weapon stayed good, our drive stayed good. Goldie Boxes, RECR team, baby! Yeah!
Corey, Cthulhu, the Coakleys, Ohio All-Star Champions!
Baby, yes! We did it! We did it, guys! We did it!
A huge congratulations to all of the Coakleys. I think we can safely say the most exciting part of Ohio. Congratulations for bringing glory and honor upon your homeland. You love to see it. $1,600 they will be walking home with. And of course, the Brazilians with Sombra will be walking home with $800 as a consolation prize. Not too shabby.
Not too shabby. And I just love to see this team behind Cthulhu, behind Owen Super Scope. The Coakleys come together here. They fight together. Often their parents, Mr. and Mrs. Coakley, are here cheering them on.
The whole Coakley crew.
The whole Coakley crew. I hope that their parents are at home right now just going crazy. They've been in the Discord all night just supporting their sons. And it's great to see a family affair where you just foster this hobby, this obsession at times, and this is what it can get you. This is what it can get you.
Absolutely incredible. Now, not to take away from this, but we do have one more championship fight for you. The 3-pound class, we have Dutch Oven going up against Crashfest. They have had an absolutely grueling journey to get here. And as I had pointed out before, this is incredibly rare. We have 2 robots, neither of which is a kinetic energy robot in the 3-pound finals. We have Crashfest, the sand shovel lifter, coming in, entering the arena now. Let's take a look.
This is potentially the biggest fight of Robert's life. He's here, he's waving that sand shovel, and he wants his opponents to know he's in it to win it. Soak it in, Robert, soak it in. Ricky, here comes his competitor, his opponent, Dutch Oven, Alex Grant, and the rest of Seems Reasonable coming through. Smelling something stinky.
Round in the bend, over to cage 3. It's about to get hot in here.
Ricky, I see 2 or 3 fire marshals standing near the cage. This is a very closely monitored fight here, but I think they are excited to see fire as much as all the rest of us.
They are on standby. They are certainly excited. I am excited myself. We're going to go to the tail of the tape here. You have Robert Run and his 2-wheel drive lifter, Crashfest. Can lift 6 pounds, which is pretty impressive for a 3-pound robot, and has a weapon reach of about 2.5 inches. He will be going up against Alex Grant, the Shuffler flamethrower robot with 4 feet of 2,000-degree flame. On paper, this seems like a washout. It seems like Dutch Oven should walk away with it, but Lindsay, Dutch Oven is going up against Crashfest, and Crashfest is one of the most durable robots ever to come to NHRL.
Crashfest is a bot that never says die. It is decked out head to toe in tape. Goldie Fest is here to show Dutch Oven that he is not some pushover.
Neither one of these robots will be going away empty-handed. Second place will walk home with $600, and the winner will come home with a cool $1,200. $100 in prize money, in addition to the prizes and compensation that they have been given in throughout the day.
This is going to be the fight of both of their lives here. There's a lot riding on this. Not to add any pressure to the situation.
No pressure at all. So that golden tape, the gold color that's added, it's polyamide, which is a very high temperature plastic. It's the kind of stuff that you have in Kevlar, that's woven material that just doesn't melt. It eventually it does burn off when it gets very, very hot, but it is incredibly temperature resistant, and it also adds a layer of resilient armor to the outside. I mean, think of it as a tiny layer of Kevlar added on top of the robot. And when a 3D printed robot like Crashfest starts to get a little gooey inside, that structure provided by the tape can be the difference between a win and a loss.
Now at Open Sauce, we did see a Crashfest robot fight. I believe it was Mixtape. It could have actually been Dutch Oven. I can't remember. Without that tape, it did melt into a pile of goo.
Yes.
So with this tape, we're going to see, is this the trick that helps him actually pull out this win against all odds?
We will find out. I really think both robots have a good chance here. It is going to come down 100% to driving skill. One mistake from Robert Run, and he is charcoal.
Robert, this is going to be the match of your lifetime. He did an impressive job in his last one. Can he keep it up?
3, 2.
Time will tell.
Fight, robots, fight.
That mini-bot trying to trap him, but he got free. So far, Crashfest is able to evade the grasp of Dutch Oven, but this is not where he wants to be.
That is a bad spot. Dutch Oven barbecuing Crashfest. He can only hold that pin so... Oh, Crashfest coming out! He is sand-shoveling that flamethrower right in the mouth. That is incredible aggression, the chutzpah this man has.
That sand shovel is trying to shush
Dutch Oven right in the fire hole. Put this in your pipe and smoke it, says Robert Run to Dutch Oven.
He's now high-centered on that mini-bot.
That mini-bot can only hold the pin so long.
Can't seem to capitalize on that.
No, Dutch Oven is having drive issues right now.
Oh. We have a pin, but there's the fire.
There's the fire. It's coming into play.
Crashfest, remarkable, standing up to this insane inferno. Ricky.
Any moment, Crashfest could become a funeral pyre. But look at that sand shovel hammering on top of Dutch Oven, wasting no time.
Oh.
That robot is becoming very melty, very fast, Lindsay.
We have another pin, and I am seeing some damage, I think, to the wheels. That sand shovel's still functioning, though.
Yeah, that robot is still moving, still trying its best. It is smoking hard. But look at it, the wheels are still spinning.
What a
The servo is still servoing.
Its butt is on fire, but it is still spanking that.
We are going to attempt an unstick right now. The drivers are going to unhand their controllers while the housebots try to separate the two.
All right.
Crashfest remains on fire throughout the process. They do appear separated. I believe we're going to restart the match any moment now.
Crashfest is on fire, but
away
so
we
is
go.
Dutch Oven.
Both robots still fully functional.
This is unreal. Crashfest still paddling that sand shovel.
You know, another few moments, we could have Dutch Fest if they melt together. Or Crash Oven.
Ricky, I'm not seeing... We have a pin for
incredible pin! An incredible pin, that sand shovel doing its best. It is a floppy, molten piece of plastic, but it's still racking up incredible points for control.
And now we have a reversal. Dutch Oven has Crashfest on the rails. Crashfest's butt is on fire. Its wheels are on fire. And
This
we have
is the
4
end of the match,
seconds left.
coming down to the last few seconds. And another pin from Crashfest. This is incredible, ladies and gentlemen. He stared into the inferno, stared it down, and said, "I'll show you." Both robots still functional, still doing their best, still driving, still shoveling. The shovel is gone, but it is still actuating.
That smolder on the back of Crashfest has been going for minutes now.
This is incredible.
But can Dutch Oven move?
We are gonna.
Yes,
Dutch
yes,
Oven
it
can move, and although the sand shovel is mostly gone, there is still a stub there, lifting up and down. It is intimidatingly stubbing people. Look at it. You can see it.
Oh, boy.
What a performance from both of these competitors. Absolutely incredible
That was
showing.
the match of a lifetime. Both Roboteers should be
You can
so
see the
proud.
shovel has been de-shoveled. Still, in a relatively small number of pieces and looking relatively not molten.
But Ricky, let's be real.
It
in
was
a
torn
match
off.
that there wasn't a lot of physical damage.
No.
That is huge.
That is a huge amount of damage considering the overall level of damage that we saw in this match. And it's not like Crashfest showed up with a completely overwhelming level of control or aggression either.
Right.
Those points spread maybe in Crashfest's favor, maybe in Dutch Oven's favor, but not, a far and away victory where we can say, look at that. They're in a snowy little paradise.
Yeah. They went from completely on fire to now the top of Mount Everest.
We're going to go to a replay here. There we are.
It was just back and forth, pin after pin. Dutch Oven here having Crashfest on the rails. Crashfest doing an amazing job of pushing Dutch Oven on the rails itself. What drive power, what pushing power from both of these robots.
You can see Dutch Oven had some trouble with its ignition source and used its mini-bot to light its fire. That's pretty cool. That fire came incredibly handy. The pin and torch approach worked so very well throughout the match. Really, really impressive showing.
I don't think there are many robots that would have been able to take that level of direct flame to their entire body, be ignited for a majority of the match, and still continue on.
No,
Crashfest was able to achieve that.
I would say essentially no robots with that level of plastic construction. That's incredible. These robots went from a journey from blowtorch to fire extinguisher, from the mouth of the volcano to a snowy paradise, all here without having to leave the country. It's incredible.
And now one vote is in.
And now, yes, one vote has been delivered. We're waiting on the remaining 2 judges.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
I am as well. 2 votes are in. We are coming down to the last vote.
We are
the last
so
moments.
This is the
There
last.
it is. I hear the sound effect. The last vote is in. All we have to wait is for it to make its way up here to the announcer's desk and let you know who your 3-pound All-Star NHRL champion is and who will take home the platinum dumpster.
That platinum dumpster. Ricky, I can't wait anymore.
No, I can't wait anymore either. I mean, it's a short wait, but my goodness, it is still a wait, and I don't want to wait.
And this is the last match of the tournament proper.
Right.
This crowns our champion. This just in, Ricky.
It's here. The ruling is in. Dutch Oven across the board. 12, 12, and 13. No doubt taking it home based on the amount of damage that flamethrower inflicted, which is not something we get to say a lot.
No.
Fantastic. You can see both competitors incredibly pleased to have made it this far. It's smiles all around, Lindsay.
I know that this meant so much to both of them. And to think I was talking with Alex 2 days ago when he was saying, you know what, I don't know, maybe the spot isn't what I envisioned it to be. I don't know if I can get it across the finish line. Here we are. I think all of those doubts are put to bed.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not what he envisioned it to be, then he has incredibly optimistic visions, because that was an incredible performance. Bar none. It's an incredible performance, period. And it is a stellar, jaw-dropping, and game-changing performance for a fire-based robot in combat robotics. So a huge congratulations. Alex will be walking home with $1,200.
Wow.
A hefty prize for a 3-pound robot, in addition to all the other lovely compensation that they've earned over the course of these 3 days. And of course, Robert Rund.
Not going home empty-handed.
Not at all. He is walking home with $600, and again, a lovely amount of support that he has been offered over the last few days. So congratulations, Robert, and even more so, congratulations, Alex. That was fantastic. We're going to go to Chris Cage's side and hear a little bit more.
Alex, Fire has brought home the All-Star Championship Beetleweight. Tell us about the day. Tell us about Dutch Oven.
You know, we came here and we were expecting to do okay. The fire system is really complex. The whole robot takes 4 people to drive, right? It's a really complex robot. We spent tons of time getting this, what we think is, you know, a meta-changing robot to the field. And we showed that today, and that's so exciting.
The meta is changing. 4 of the robots in the final bracket of the Beetleweights were non-traditional. There was no spinners. It was crazy. What is happening?
I love it. I love control bots. I love to see it. It's fun. It's fun when you have design variety. And being able to see, like, here, the four top robots being control bots, and you know, the others, right? You know, we don't fit in a box. It's awesome that we made it this far.
Now, I just want to say one other thing. Robert Rund, you had an opponent who doesn't quit. Even when you've been melted for 3 straight minutes, you had a control bot on a fire bot. Tell us about going head-to-head with Robert Rund here at the end of the tournament.
Robert is one of the best drivers here, probably the best driver in NHRL. And Crashfest doesn't die. We saw it here again, that Crashfest does not die. I got the scoop, and that was probably the difference in this match, honestly. And so disabling his weapon and getting pinned and getting some pins it was a really back and forth. I wasn't sure who was going to get it at the end. I was really excited.
You have brought so much excitement this week. Can you recap the week with one thought?
Fire. Inferno. I don't know. It's awesome to be able to show up with something new and break the cage, right? Like, you break the meta, you break the cage. I think the lights, the microphone fell this match. Like, you know, it's really cool to be able to do this sort of thing.
Alex, Dutch Oven, you are All-Star champions. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, and thanks to everybody. Thanks to everybody here at NHRL. Like, there's no other place that you have open rules like this, that you can just show up with a flamethrower robot that melts the box, and they say, hey, we'll fix it. We'll figure out how to contain your Inferno death machine, and, you know, figure out how to, like, yeah, it's really cool. I really appreciate being able to be here. And, you know, we'll be back in March. Hopefully we'll qualify. Like, that's the next step. We've never qualified as a team.
And I'm sure things will be hotter.
Yeah, they'll be hotter.
Back to you guys.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you so much, Chris. Now, I want to say, in the very beginning of today, our fans online predicted that Dutch Oven was going to come away with a win for this entire day. They were correct. And now we're going to celebrate something a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
It is actually, the whole reason why we're kind of doing this is to celebrate our 5th birthday. And we're going to have a little special celebration over in Cage 4. I don't know what it is, but it might be a little hot in its own right.
I'm pretty excited. Let's go take a look. Mixtape. What has Mixtape got there?
Ricky, is that a birthday cake?
I would say it is. It's a birthday cake for NHRL to celebrate our 5th year here, bringing you all the chaos, all the havoc, all the time. You know, there's one thing I noticed wrong with this cake, Lindsay.
What is it, Ricky?
This cake has candles, and those candles are no longer aflame.
Well, we're going to have to fix that.
Yeah, and you know, to help us here in that endeavor, our good friend Mixtape. I think Mixtape can handle that, don't you think?
I mean, I was going to say I might have a lighter in my backpack or something, but this is probably a little bit more fun.
Let's go one step a little more dramatic. Mixtape, are you going to help us out here? What do you have to say for it? I can see
it's ready
a faint
to go.
and eerie glow from the inside of Mixtape. They are waiting, ready any moment. There it goes.
We go. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, NHRL. Happy birthday to you.
A special, touching, heartwarming moment here.
Cake warming.
Oh,
blow out the candles, Fluffy. I hope she made a wish.
I wish for 500 more years
Look at that.
of NHRL.
The fire on Mixtape was able to withstand quite a bit of fire extinguisher there. That's kind of horrifying,
Mixtape
actually.
going rogue. This
got a lot of
cake,
action.
shout out, made by our very own Ashley Beckman.
I kind of wanted to eat that cake. I am a little nervous now. I think it might be...
If you do some digging, you might be able to find it.
Right, somewhere buried in there might be a little bit of carcinogenic flavor potential.
Not legal in California.
No.
But here in Connecticut.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. We will find out soon enough, maybe off camera. In the meantime, we have a special surprise for you, a little unveiling. These are the trophies for the 2023 NHRL All-Star event, the Platinum Dumpsters. First, the 30-pound winner to be awarded their dumpster.
Brandon, well-deserved.
Congratulations. Next up, we have the 12-pound. These are hefty. My gosh. These are real. Heavy. Yeah, that is real steel. Bravo. And last, but certainly not least, the hottest trophy in the room, the 3-pound championship platinum dumpster to Dutch Oven. Congratulations. Bravo. Thank you. Thank you all. Congratulations. Thank you all at home. The cake coming
birthday,
in.
NHRL.
Happy birthday, NHRL. Well earned. Here's our 2024 schedule. We're going to talk to it. You can see what's coming up this coming year. January 20th, March 2nd, April 20th, June 22nd, August 10th, and October 26th. You may see additional dates and national events as well as the championships announced in the very near future. Congratulations, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much. Thank you for celebrating our birthday here at NHRL. My name is Ricky Willems. This is Lindsay Bear. We're here to sign off for the 2023 All-Star event. Thank you all. Thank you for watching. Good night.